So we should have bugged Tim Petney to be on or something. Some other Australian.
Before we do anything,
It's their morning.
you know what it's time for?
Rib check?
It's time for a rib check.
Isn't it about dinner time there? What time are you going to eat it?
I've already eaten one of the racks.
Was that while I was offline?
Yeah.
Did I miss the stuffing your face?
It was pretty good, actually. I was quite happy with it. Here's a tip. About once an hour, take some apple juice and spray the ribs. Keeps them moist.
I like apple cider vinegar.
Oh, yeah. Alright, should be able to see a bit better out here now because it's darker. Also, this hat is necessary now.
So weird to see the daylight again.
You say that like you've been locked in an underground prison for years.
Nope, just 16 hours.
Ah, you can actually see now. This is the smoker, my little baby.
So we almost have 2/3 done. Can you believe it?
Excellent. So, Jonah, do your neighbors hate you yet?
I don't think so.
Oh, when I do it, you could smell it from like down the street.
Oh, it's pretty pungent.
It looks burnt.
It's not. So if there's sugar in his rub, it caramelizes, and it gets real dark, but it's still really sweet.
It doesn't look very healthy, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah. That's about done. That's bendy. Oh. Yeah, that's done.
I might have to restart.
Tender.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
I mean, they could probably stay in longer. I'm gonna get a tray.
It's almost impossible to leave them on too long.
Yeah.
Those are gonna be
Wow, look at that. Look at that just fall apart. So like one each?
Man, this one's been on here for a long time. Are you guys backing with me?
Daniels here.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really weird.
One's looking at the other.
You know what? You know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to take a nap while the other Daniel is hanging out here. Was worth a try.
Ooh, that looks good. There's some honey in there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell.
That they would kill you for in Texas. Putting sauce on it.
Oh yeah. No, I'm a saucy kind of guy.
You know what working at 4 reminds me of?
Like
Back in
last
the-
week.
Hell?
No, back in the days there was one huge distro team and we all reported to Matt Zimmerman, and there were people in, like today, we had people in the US, we had people in Australia, in Europe, in Asia, all over the place. So and Matt said it's really good for us to have weekly meetings. So we rotated them, and they always sucked for parts of us. And I still remember getting up at 4 in the morning or at 3 in the morning. It was a nightmare. And the rest of the day was usually
Shot.
absolutely useless.
Man,
But what would be good for you at 3 in the morning other than Australians? I mean, it wouldn't be good for us.
so pro tip, take a shower, you'll feel like $1,000,000. I feel like I'm just getting started.
So
You really do look like a criminal. with that skull cap on.
you what?
Run UDS sessions like that, dude.
You do what?
Run UDS sessions like that.
What with this thing on?
You know, with that cap. All right, man, I'll take the work items. Just
I kind of dig it, you know. I actually quite like this hat. I like the whole "I'm about to burgle your house" kind of vibe.
first thing I did was unpack some shirts. I've been wearing the same 5 shirts for a month, just washing them. I have clothes, my Juju shirt, yo. Represent.
Wow.
I'm actively searching for my Debian shirt as well, because I'm not going to let Michael get all the glory.
Get all the donations. Not doing too shabby when it comes to donations, though.
All right, time to add to my rib cook. Alright. This is the worst bit. Letting meat rest.
That's not something I usually do, actually.
Not for ribs.
Not for anything.
You don't let meat rest at all?
Not like if I've got a party or something.
Oh, dude. If you're gonna do like a big piece of meat, you should definitely let it rest.
No, I've got a separate part of my smoker where it doesn't get as hot. I'll move it over there before I serve it.
If I was you, I'd take it off, because you have this thing called the crossover effect.
Mm-hmm.
Where you like how the way grilling works is that it has the conduction heat on the outside of the meat, and you know the outside gets hot and then it gradually transfers via the muscle fibers to the middle of the meat.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you take the meat off the grill, and it starts to cool, as the muscle fibers cool, they kind of retain the juices, so you get less juice kind of gets lost from the meat.
Yeah.
And I was kind of suspicious of this until I tried it with pulled pork, and it.
How long do you let it rest?
For thick pieces of meat, I'll let it rest for an hour. I've got like one of those polystyrene coolers. So what I'll do is I'll wrap it in foil, and then I'll wrap it in 2 old towels, and I'll put it in the cooler for an hour.
Does it stay warm that way?
It's like burn your fingers hot when it comes out.
Okay.
Yeah, it really like it's you could leave it there for 2 hours, it'd still be boiling hot.
Yeah.
But you'll take the foil off, and it'll be like it's just bathed in its own. It's just sitting there in a pile of its own make. It's delicious.
I have to try that. That'll be good if I'm serving just like my family or a few guests. But when I have like a party or something at my house, I set up a table with a cutting board right next to the smoker. People just walk up with their plates.
Yeah. I'm not as happy with this second rack. The first rack was good. Second rack and the third rack, I'm not. I'm going to use the third rack as an experiment. I'm going to leave it on there for a lot longer and just see if I can overcook it.
So I got some good news or bad news depending on your opinion on this guy. But Ted Gould says he's free if you guys want to ask him some questions about Unity and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. I love Ted.
Let's invite him in. So I don't know who launched it.
Sorry. Just smack me around a little bit. Oh, I'm here.
All right.
Ted. I've found a Ted.
The Ted. I call him Tedford.
Tastes good. Oh.
Let's see if we get Ted. Man, when you have those common names, it's so hard to know if the one that you're picking is the right one.
How many Ted Goulds are there?
The problem is that people have like work accounts and app accounts and stuff.
I think we got Ted anyway. Awesome.
Hey.
Yep, sorry I got two-factor authenticated.
Awesome.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry I got two-factor authenticated.
Hey, Ted.
Hi, Ted.
It's going to be the new company excuse, isn't it? No, I didn't
Yes.
forget about the meeting. It was two-factor authentication that slowed me down.
That's why I'm 45 minutes late. I couldn't figure out two-factor authentication.
I lost my keys. I had to go find my Ubi.
It's funny because it's true.
It's been kicking my ass, actually. I guess it's just a matter of getting every computer connected, but when we switch that on...
Mm.
So what's up? How you guys doing?
Tired.
Making ribs.
Yeah, tired.
Doing well, man.
So we've had Ted on Ubuntu on Air. He's one of our most popular guests. See how I'm pandering to you and stuff. But Ted is pretty awesome because he's responsible for a lot of plumbing in Unity and indicators and a whole bunch of other stuff. And he's always loves asking user questions. So Ted, why don't you introduce yourself? How long you been working at Canonical? What are you working on now? Let's give us the day in the life of Ted.
So I'm Ted Gould. I worked on it used to be the desktop experience team since it started. And so I started actually on the Ubuntu desktop team about 5 years ago or so. So this is my third LTS, 12.04 was.
Wow.
So that was kind of cool. And so when we started with the desktop experience team, I kind of started building the Fusa app and then messaging menu, and then I kind of erupted into the whole indicators architecture that we built. So basically the top part of the screen. That's not actually what I do now. I've kind of handed that off, and Charles and Lars are taking care of that. And I've started entering as we do this with squads, and so the squads get assigned tasks throughout all of product strategy stuff. And so most recently, we actually worked on the remote greeter feature, so that basically in the greeter you can come in and say, "Hey, log me into an RDP server." You automatically, it looks like you're running Windows or Ubuntu somewhere else or OS X or whatever you got on the other side. So that was a lot of fun. And actually, for the last few weeks, we've been on bug fixing quality stuff for 12.10. So just kind of jumping around the stack and fixing stuff. But
I have some questions about the remote greeter. If you want to start there to kind of seed questions. So by default, out of the box, what does it connect to?
So out of the box, it doesn't. I mean, connect is a strong word. It pings the server to see if it's there, and if it's there, it shows you the login.
Okay.
So it asks for the header from the server to see if it can actually connect to it.
Okay.
Because basically, we don't want to show the feature if you can't use it.
Right.
And so then if you type in your Ubuntu SSO username and password, it will go to the server and get your list of servers. So besides the ping, everything else is just it will request your account if you want it.
Okay,
How do you enroll a machine on the server?
Yeah.
How do you let it know that you have this remote system you might want to log into?
So what kind of server are we talking about? We talking VNC, X11? I mean,
right now we only support RDP.
Okay.
There's no reason we can't support other protocols. We just, to fit it in one cycle and get it all plumbing done, we did RDP, got that working because it had commercial implications, but there's also a really good free RDP server. I created a Juju charm. You can actually create an Ubuntu desktop with RDP server. So you just say Juju deploy XRDP desktop, and then you've got an RDP server
Nice.
on the cloud.
Okay.
And so then what happens is you've got that, and you've got the Amazon address, and then you go plug that into uccs.landscape.canonical.com, and then when you log in, it just gives you that as my EC2 server, and you log into it.
And that UCCS is really what makes this kind of unique because you don't have to remember where all your servers are. So if you go to somebody else's house and they've got an Ubuntu PC, if you use your SSO, it'll go to this UCCS server and pull down the list of remote servers that you can log into. Am I right on that, Ted?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of a thing that's changed where we were looking at it as a cloud feature because the reality is in the cloud world you don't have, the EC2 addresses you can't remember them. Like it used to be that it'd be, rdp.mycompany.com. Like you could remember that. But EC214929962 is not something you're going to remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So really the target audience is like if I'm a company that's interested in doing Ubuntu, but we have Windows applications, right? You stick those on a remote server and then, we lost you there. Windows environment too, right?
Sorry. Yes.
And they got a nice full screen Windows environment if they're assuming that's the use case is for.
So it could be good for thin client, or it could be. I think the other use case is that you've got a small platform, let's say Ubuntu for Android, and it's not necessarily as powerful as you need. You could instead set up an Ubuntu RDP server out there and plug in your phone, do your full screen RDP using Ubuntu.
Right. Interesting. VisuX asks, is there a way to force indicators from not showing in the array? I hate it when they are forced there. I would prefer it if I can deactivate them from showing in 1204. I even know what your answer is going to be, Ted.
So every indicator actually has internal support for being disabled in some way or another. So like the messaging menu, if you remove all the apps, it'll disappear. If you don't have a network card, the networking one should disappear. If you don't have a sound card, the sound one will disappear. So they all have a list of criteria that will make them actually disappear. Now, we don't have like a blacklist or anything like that, but each of them has a way to disappear.
Now, I'm curious why you wouldn't want them. I mean, they're not in the way. They serve a very, very useful function.
Well, they're supposed to be. I think some apps kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that
some non-default indicators.
Well, but I think also some people are a little ADD about it. Like, I want to have no icons on my panel. How can I make that happen?
Right. Because remember, the original intent was to clean up this mess up here. Remember, and we started with the notifications, right? And then the point was like, wow, every app thinks they need to put an icon up there.
Yeah, and so what we tried to do is we tried to create the category indicators, like sound. So every sound app can be in the sound menu. And messaging. All messaging apps have one place to go.
Right.
We tried to do the categories as best we could. We try to do that with Sync now. I mean, the only one in Sync right now is Ubuntu 1.
Right.
We'd like to see Dropbox and other guys there start to appear there so that they don't each have to have their own indicator.
Right.
Now,
So
I think one of the key things that we also did, though, is we added the app indicators. And we said, hey, if we don't have a category, you figure out and you teach us how to do this. And Ubuntu 1 and Dropbox both did that, and that's how we kind of looked at the sync thing and like, well, hey, we're screwing up here. How do we fix this? Right.
Yeah, so Visuous says he loves the default indicators. I hate the arbitrary indicators like Kazan, GTK, record my desktop, and so on.
And so, I mean, some of that has to come through people disliking those apps. So, that's why there's a star rating in the Ubuntu Software Center. Go rank it 3 stars and say it would be great if it didn't have an indicator and see what the developers say.
Yeah. I think it's, I mean, I don't know. I remember I was helping Ted when we first started doing app indicators, and it was like, well, let's get people using the technology. So do you feel that maybe it's time to kind of rein in the design aspects of that? Whereas,
I think, it's obviously a balance. I think we restricted it enough. We basically said all you can have is an icon, a label, and a menu.
Yeah.
And the reality is that I think if we restricted it more than that, we'd be removing the ability for people to experiment on our platform.
Right.
And we want people to experiment on our platform. We want it to be a place where people can do cool ideas. We just have to protect the user experience, and that's kind of, I think, what we did.
Right.
So right now, libindicate, which lets you integrate with the messaging menu, it's really a generic library. But the message menu is the only thing that currently uses it. Is there a plan to use it for anything else in the future?
Well, so we dropped it for 12.10.
Oh. So do we have a different...
it's lib messaging menu because it was the only thing that used it. And so we just made it more specialized and less generic. It was a little bit hard to use just because it was generic. And since we never used the generic support, it didn't really make sense.
Okay. So then I guess the new sync menu is going to have a separate API.
Yeah, I don't remember if it used libindicate. There was a discussion there on that. I have to look to see which one it ended up using.
Yeah. So, Ted, you're going to love the last follow-up question for VisuX before I move to Brandon's question is, your favorite question, why not user-controlled restrictions? Wouldn't it be better for user experience if we could remove what we don't want?
Well, I think there's a mix there. I mean, there's definitely we want users to be able to customize their desktop to create a desktop that's their own. I think that's very important. We used to joke that really the only configuration option should be what's your favorite color, and we should do everything based on that. But I think people do choose with the indicators at a significant level. They choose the integration, they choose which apps are in there, and they choose what applications they choose to use. So I think that we are doing that, but requiring more configuration just starts to get arbitrary. Like if you look at, I think a good example of that is where we had the status menu, and then we had a key to configure which items would go in there, the little white list or was it black list, and then there was applications that when they installed added themselves to that list. So what you end up with just is an arms race, really. And I guess I just don't want to be there. I'd rather see people talk to the developers upstream and say, hey, your indicator's annoying, let's fix it.
Interesting.
It also makes people actually try and work together. And like with Dropbox and U1, now having to work together to create a single sync menu for better user experience for both of them.
Interesting.
So my next request, and I think I've talked to you about this before, is an API to add events to the calendar indicator, the date time indicator. Right now it's only Evolution Data Server, right?
And they have an API for adding backends to that.
Okay.
I mean, that's really what it came down to. We looked at making an API for it, and we're like, well, EDS has an API. What would we do differently? And the answer was basically nothing. I mean, they've got an API. You can put arbitrarily iCloud files in there if you really wanted to. I mean, I guess we could make a convenience library to make that a little bit easier, but the reality is that you can plug just about anything into EDS. It's pretty fun.
How come we don't have anything to put your Mozilla Lightning calendar stuff in there, since we're shipping Thunderbird as the default email client?
No one's made one. I mean, yeah, you could definitely do that. I don't know. I don't use Lightning. I don't think we're shipping Lightning, though.
No.
So.
But if you're using Thunderbird, then that's the way to get calendaring in it.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, I use Calendar pretty heavily. And so I've got a bunch of local calendars. I've got a bunch of iCal calendars, things like sports team schedule and stuff like that. And then I have my Google calendars from work. And so I probably have 10 or 15 calendars that are all mixed into EDS from different sources, depending on who I'm using.
Someone was asking for you to repeat the question.
Oh, sorry.
They missed the beginning of that, Ted.
So the question was, why don't we have a plugin interface for the date-time indicator to be able to add events? And so my answer basically was, yes. Hey, that plugin interface is the EDS backend.
So, do you have happen to know a link to documentation for adding stuff to EDS? Because right now that's one of the few system indicators that we don't have documentation on how to interact with.
I think there might be something on developer.gnome.org.
It's pretty awesome that you mentioned the word TED and documentation in the same sentence.
We're together. Like peanut butter and honey.
Brandon wanted to know if you guys are planning any support for, I think, the Apple Remote Desktop Protocol. I don't even know Apple had that stuff. Apple Remote Desktop. Is there a library for something like that, like there is for RDP and stuff?
I don't know of one, but I guess what we tried to do is we tried to make a generic architecture for adding these types of protocols. And so what I think is interesting is if you go and you look at, there's a package with a really long name called lightdm-remote-desktop-free-RDP.
Really?
And what that is that's actually just like, I think it's 3 or 4 configuration files, and that pulls everything together. And so if you've got another protocol you want to add, you just have to write those same configuration protocols to get the appropriate libraries connected. And so that's really what we focused on a lot more than, I'm going to support every protocol everybody's interested in. We got that fixed into LightDM. We got the greeter so it can handle the stuff. We got the lookups on the server. And so at this point, it's a matter of, just you need a library to speak that protocol. And we could do any protocol we need to.
Brandon says there are libraries, so it's probably easy. Well, straightforward. I don't want to say easy. Also, Ted, did you name this package? I know you have a reputation for really...
I get paid by the character.
Yeah. So I think you named libido, which if you spell out...
I didn't. That was actually Cody. He totally gives credit for that.
Well, I think you get blamed for it these days. I think you had libindicate, right?
And then libindicator and libappindicator. Yep.
I don't know why you people can't conjugate.
Have you make a libindicated? Because then
I write 10 every year.
Sometime, right? So it's actually libindicate D. See?
Well, I think it would be a logging library. After you indicated, or you're an indicator, and you wanted to log, you'd indicated.
I can't believe we let you.
I don't know why developers have a hard time.
I don't see what the problem is. Yeah. So now that you've done the greeter, obviously you'll iterate on that. So how does it work with your little squads? Will you next cycle move on to a different feature or different?
Yeah. So I guess this might be useful to explain kind of how product strategy works because I don't think everyone knows that. I don't know if everyone at Canonical knows that even.
Yeah. Anyone in PS now?
What?
do the people in product services know, or product strategy? I mean, do they know how it works?
Well, yeah, I think so. I think they've been told enough. Whether they know or not is another situation. But so one of the things we have in product strategy is we needed a structure that was very flexible because we move around on various products pretty quickly. But we also need a structure that we're going to grow because we knew our department would grow over time, and so we wanted to be able to build that. But we felt like that we didn't want to lose continuity. And so we didn't want to do a reorg like every 3 months because that sucks for everyone. Right. And so what we did is we created a bunch of teams that are technology and product teams. And those teams are basically to create the continuity. So for instance, we have a search team, and their job is to make sure that search works and it gets better in the dash and HUD every cycle. Just they need to come in, and that's what they deliver. But they're a little bit understaffed. I mean, they only have, I think, 3 guys in there. And then what we do is we supplement these teams with squads. And so while they're maintaining the continuity, and they're the guys who are doing the reviewers and maintaining that continuity, the code, and saying, this is what needs to go in and how it needs to work, we also have these squads that will come in and do specific large projects.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm on a squad. And we named all our squads after Pacific Islands. So I'm on the Bikini-Atoll squad. And
no, you didn't.
Yeah, we did.
No, you didn't.
Oh, yes, I did.
How do you spell that?
Bikini.
Oh, bikini. Oh, okay.
Heads on the bikini team. Canonical.
Yep. Yeah. So,
do they give you uniforms?
Yeah. I'll send you pictures. I'll text them. Me and Brett Favre were like this.
I'm not quite sure that's a very fortunate name.
But anyway, so we come in and we basically do major features. And so like the remote client feature was actually done by the Thin Client team. They're the team that owns it as a continuity. And so we came in as a remote greeter and said, you need this major feature developed. We'll come in and deliver that to you as the customer. And so in a lot of ways, you can think of the squads kind of as consultants. They come into these product and technology teams, they deliver a feature, and then they go on to something else.
Yeah, so you're like roving ninja squads.
Yeah, but we also we all work on the same product. We all work on Ubuntu, and we want to make Ubuntu better. So it's not like a consultant that doesn't care. Consultants just leave. We're actually, we use Ubuntu. We want it to be better. So it's kind of a mix.
So what kind of teams are there? You mentioned search. You mentioned.
Now you're gonna make me remember them all.
Yeah.
So I think there's Unity like low level display stuff like Nux, Compiz, stuff like that. There's search. There's indicators and settings. What's other text teams? Touch. And
what about Dash and Launcher? Is there like a shell?
Dash and Launcher and the low level, the Unity Foundations team.
Okay.
And so then we have the form factors teams, the Ubuntu for Android, desktop, TV, etc.
Okay.
And so those guys are supposed to maintain the customers and work with the customers and get that stuff working. And so then we do a sprint, like a product sprint, and we just do we call it speed dating, which probably isn't a great term, but all the squads and technology teams intermix. And
this just keeps getting better and better, Ted.
In our bikinis. It makes sense. But
where does the web apps team fall into this?
Web apps is a technology team.
Okay.
Yep, I forgot them. So anyway, we go through and we mix and we make sure that all our roadmaps are aligned, and then we come up with the projects that the squads are going to do for the cycle.
So do you know what team you're going to reinforce next, or is that kind of?
No, we'll be handling that when we get to the week before UDS.
Okay. So what do you want to work on? What excites you in our technology stack lately?
Oh, it was, what do I want to work on? I want to work on a bunch of things. We've got a lot of things. I don't know if you remember Mark's keynote at last UDS. He had some HUD stuff that we never got to.
Yeah. I was just asking you about that the other day.
Yep. It'd be really cool if we could work on that. I don't know if that'll make it this cycle or not, because it's a big project. It really is. Excuse me. The search guys have some time for it, but to be able to do all the name matching and widgets and everything, that'll be hard for them to be able to get done by themselves. It'd be cool if they got a squad to do it.
What about the spread? We've been talking about the spread for a while, and I remember seeing cool mock-ups. And
which one's the spread? I thought isn't that Control S or Open Apple S?
W. Well, it's a kind of a combination of Control S and Control W.
Yeah.
No.
So like the way Unity 2D had it.
Wow. I don't know.
Interesting. Jono, you missed out. Product strategy to speed dating.
In bikinis.
In bikinis.
In bikini squads.
That was not how I was expecting that discussion to go.
Yeah. Well,
Speed dating in bikinis?
So that's the name of our squad.
I've already seen Ted in a bikini. It's nothing new.
Okay.
Are we losing Mike?
No, I'm still here.
Are you laid down?
Yes.
We're going to lose you at some point.
Yeah.
The rule said I had to be awake, not vertical.
It only makes it harder, dude.
But
Also, it's only 10:30 there, isn't it?
It is.
it is, man.
Yeah,
As opposed to, for the sake of argument,
It's like the
4:30
first hours fly by, and then the next ones get logarithmically longer.
No, the first hours seemed long to me.
Really?
Yeah,
it was the middle that flew by.
Lunchtime until now was the best period of time I had.
Really?
Yeah.
I agree.
Everything's going by for me.
Was that when you were disconnected and sleeping? That part?
No.
My internet connection fails to work? How convenient.
I'm actually surprised no one has tried to loop the same,
Oh, that's
Speed. You guys remember
brilliant.
that Speed? Where he tricked him that he was on the bus the whole time, but he was really not.
It's brilliant.
So, Visurex asks, 1204 took over the super key and with custom keyboard shortcuts that can't be used. Will 1210 correct that?
So,
add that we look haggard.
I would be surprised if that landed for 1210. It's actually desktop infrastructure freeze was today, and so I don't think we'll get that one in. It was on the to-do list, but it didn't get done. In general, I've been advocating for the concept that super key is the window managers and the desktops, and then all the apps get everything else. When we stop taking any Alt Control T for terminal or anything else. It's super is the desktop, and everybody else is everything else. Just to kind of clarify for applications. One of the problems we have, and I know this is a problem on Inkscape, is which keys are available. We don't even know. You just kind of guess them. Some don't work on some desktops, some don't work on the others, and it's just kind of it's a pain.
Yeah. I was never a custom keyboard shortcut guy, so the super key was generally on Linux and unused.
Mm-hmm.
So when you guys picked that, I was like, yes, finally, because I love that about Windows 7 was their right.
Yeah.
I want to browse Super 1. It's always
I
Super 1.
I use that a
I
lot.
never used the
Me
super
too.
key until Unity. Now my thumb is almost always hovering over the super key.
Yeah, for me, 3 is terminal, so Super Shift 3 is always a new terminal, and that works great for me.
Yeah, see, for me, that one's always been Control-Alt-T, because that's been a GNOME shortcut since 1991 or something like that.
The beginning of time, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Control-Alt-T is... Control-Alt-T and then Control-D.
Yeah, I'm with George. Super 1 through about 6 is just muscle memory for me now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it. It's like, this is the key combo for Chrome. This is the key combo for Thunderbird. This is the one for Terminal.
That's great.
VisuX
Somebody
wants to add
send,
that he hates Control-Alt-T.
Can somebody send an invite to Thumper?
Yeah, we should have Thumpa on here.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Let's see.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about getting Tim on.
Well, Alt's used for menus everywhere. We just use Alt for anything menu related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an application thing, though. Menus are an application thing.
I found out how very few applications I actually use the menus on, but the ones I do, like GIMP and Inkscape, HUD makes such a difference on those.
Yeah.
I find that, and then evolution, at least for me, that's a big one, because what really was always difficult for me is evolution has a lot of great modes for like forwarding messages. You forward it inline, forward it attached, and those were always just unusable to me. So now I just do FOR space IN for forward inline or whatever, and that just works.
That is really interesting. I really like the HUD. It's a really great power user feature. My only feedback to you there, Ted, is sometimes. So I do a lot of Control Alt arrow keys to move around.
Mm-hmm.
Just sometimes I do it subconsciously. I like the way I hit my Control Alt arrow. Sometimes I'll inadvertently invoke the HUD when I don't need to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the time happens to me.
Who started the Hangout? Nick, did you do that?
Yeah. You want me to invite Thumper?
Yeah, he's asking to be invited, so get him on before he
changes the keys. 'Cause, like, every key we tried kind of sucked. I don't know that Alt solves any of the problems. I think it creates some too. The nice part about Alt is that it aligns with this is menus. I don't know. I don't have a.
I tried to make the case for the caps lock key because it's generally a worthless key, but it just seems one of those things that the whole world is revolved around that key being broken, even though no one uses it for anything. That if you were to switch that to a default something like the HUD, that there would be a real.
Yeah, I forget what the issue was. We tried to use the caps lock key for a while. It didn't work out. I don't remember what the issue was.
I'm listening mock-ups with a little microphone in the dash search for voice recognition. Do you think we'll see that anytime soon in the dash and also in the HUD?
I think that's possible. We'd love to do it. I mean, the reality is that we just don't have a good open source voice recognition library. Maybe we couldn't license one for the free product. We could have Dell license one and put it on the machines they ship or something like that. But I don't really like that solution. So the free ones aren't great. I was hoping that Android, I think, did some of their voice recognition, and for one, they said it was local systems. So I'm curious if any of that's open source. I haven't looked yet. But if there was good voice recognition, we'd do it in a heartbeat.
That's interesting. We noticed when we had Stuart on earlier for Ubuntu One that on the music store through the browser they do a call that does some voice recognition. Well, I don't know how it does that. If it's just tied to a web service that does the work, or if it's local.
I think theirs is a web service. I think they might even use Flash to record it, if I remember right. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to, but if you don't have the technology, I don't think we could write voice recognition. We just don't have those people. That'd be expensive.
The one thing I really like about the HUD is the fact that you make it search the indicators also.
Oh my god!
So did you see? Have you seen my Quickly GTK demo, Ted? That uses it?
No.
So it sticks a menu indicator up there.
Okay. Yeah.
And it'll keep track of your current Quickly project.
Okay. Yeah.
And because it's got the menu with all the Quickly commands in it, you could be in gedit, and you just tap Alt, hit Run, and that'll be the first thing that comes up in the HUD.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like you get automatic integration in other apps for free.
I used that with Indicator Jenkins. So Tommy on our QA team wrote a small indicator that connects to the Jenkins server, and so you can have all your projects there. And so if one fails to build, you can just hit the Alt, type the name of the project, and you've got the Jenkins server. That's awesome.
Okay, so Visuix just pointed out that you can do Alt suspend and Alt shut down. I did not know we did that.
They're in the system indicator.
Yep.
Can you give me
Oh, so awesome!
Daniel, that's cheating.
I thought it was worth a try. If you can't see me sleeping, I'm probably not sleeping.
The drooling
Yes.
will give it away.
Yeah. You have to
Damn it.
paint the eyes.
Damn it.
Hey, so Thumper's here. Why don't you introduce yourself and start telling us other awesome stuff? I think he's muted.
Can you hear us, Tim?
I am here, but I can't hear you very well. You all sound like little dialects.
Well, that's what happens when you've been awake this long.
Yeah, I think that's normal.
So if you could just introduce yourself and let people know what you do.
Sure. My name's Tim Penhay. I've been currently engineering manager for Unity Foundations, which now effectively means I look after all the things that Unity is built on without actually looking after Unity itself. Did any of that come through?
Yeah.
That's good. So you get all the fun stuff without any responsibility, basically.
Oh man, I can hardly hear you guys.
Just say yes, Tim.
Was that just nod and smile a little?
Exactly.
Well, to be fair, New Zealand is a long way away. That's probably why.
I'm
Do we
sure
shout them to get the sound all the way over?
sound, all of the talking you're doing is being pushed across the Pacific Ocean on a wet noodle.
The worst kind of noodle.
There you go.
Do you want to ask me questions that I can hear?
Vizuex, we're
Yes.
going to be hanging out until 10 a.m. UTC. So it's not all going to be on this one. We'll have to restart it at some point. But the Hangouts will go on.
So another 7 hours.
My heart will go on.
Yeah.
And on.
I also felt
We're gonna
the need
voice
to-
that.
I also felt the need for things to lean Dion at that point. I must admit.
It's gonna happen.
Please don't. I could play some
Head up,
music.
Thumper, tell us cool Unity things. I just know I just did a app upgrade now, and I got Unity 6.8. Is that the right number?
I think so.
I got something. I want you guys to talk a little bit about release. Tell me good things about quality and whatnot.
You asked me what's new in Unity 6.8 when I just do Unity anymore. I think big things have, and particularly in 6.8, is really just bug fixes. A lot of minor things. A lot of very small visual regressions that crept in have been fixed. Speed issues, stability things across compers. A lot of small fundamentals, a lot of polish.
Cool. So then, what are you working on now? If it's not Unity,
What was that?
what's your main focus now? If it's not Unity,
What is it you do here, Thumper?
I'm trying to work about what I'm allowed to talk. If you guys are going to ask me questions, then going to get me in trouble.
Oh. Ooh, one of them.
So you're in Black Ops now. That's what it is. Are we even allowed to show your face? Should we blur it?
What if this? Okay, my main focus, I guess, is I'm looking at foundations. I'm looking at right now, almost literally right. Proposals up where I'm refactoring some of the internals of Unity, where we're just improving code quality and putting correct abstractions in place that are going to help us as we move Unity from being purely a desktop environment to being, tablet and phone ready. Mark has been said a while ago, that we're going to be looking at tablets and phones, and I'm sure more people have been aware of the the push on on the mailing list that we have, a phablet mailing list, where people are talking about things that are going to be happening on the tablet and the phone for Unity. So one of the things that we're wanting to do is to have a single code base that's going to be used across all. So we're not going to have, this is a desktop version of Unity, and over here we've got the tablet version, and over there we've got a phone version. The idea is that we're going to have a single core Unity code base, so that what we have is one thing that'll work across multiple form factors. So one of the things that I'm trying to do at the moment in preparation for some of the components is putting the correct abstractions in place that allow us to move forwards. So cleaning things up.
Always fun stuff, but necessary.
I'm not sure if that was a question.
No.
I think, Tim, what a lot of people might be interested in is to learn about how the autopilot stuff works in Unity and how we're doing that on the testing side of things on Jenkins.
That was cool.
Maybe I think if you did an overview, because I think that probably some of the community guys know what's going on there, but not necessarily everybody listening knows what's happened there.
No, I took a work item last UDS to get that information from Tommy, but haven't gotten it yet.
Take notes.
I'm going to.
Jonas is the dog face now.
I can answer this question that Bob Weaver's just asked on IRC. If LLVM fails, will you go back to QML? No.
No, Unity 2D.
That was short and succinct. No.
In particular, there's there are a number of things that we're addressing with LLVM pipe. There's one is a low effects mode. That means we're going to be doing the core thing about LLVM pipe is it's entirely CPU rendered. So everything that we were getting the GPU to do becomes CPU load on your machine. So there are a number of things, particularly in the way that Unity was written, works fine on a GPU, where just the way the instructions were ordered or things like that are great for NVIDIA or ATI. They're all able to handle it very, very well. But when you get down to a CPU-based renderer like LLVM pipe, it is not very good at pipelining those instructions. So we've got a number of things we're doing internally to switch off a number of the way in which we're doing effects. So there's recently been some commits into trunk, should be released shortly, I believe, for Quantal, which will have a low effects mode, which will mean, I believe, the blur and the dash is turned off and a number of shadows and things. Things just aren't drawn anymore, which will reduce the overall load on the GPU, which, since it's your CPU, will make it run more effectively. Having Unity go back to a QML-based drawing thing is not really an option. Go in the direction we want to go for a desktop shell.
And
That's it.
GNOME Shell is also using LLVM pipe, aren't they? Is their fallback if you don't have a 3D driver?
Yes.
That question is to anybody who knows the answer, by the way.
Yeah, they are. They're actually looking at dropping all the GNOME fallback stuff, so you will be in line with what they're trying to do. And they did a lot of good work on it, being honest, that we're benefiting from. So thanks go to Red Hat for us being able to do it too.
So does that mean we're going to get accused of killing off the fallback session?
I'm sure we already are. But yes, I think that GNOME is going to kill it off. I imagine someone, either Mate or someone else, will try to maintain it. I don't know. It's a lot of work. It really is. I think that people don't realize how hard maintenance is. In a lot of discussions we have in free software, the cost of maintenance is ignored, and it's a lot of work. It really is. I think until you've done it, you don't realize.
Yeah, I think the Mate guys are finding that out. Just how much evolved code is in GNOME 2.
But how much little things change that have broader implications, and you have to figure out. A good example for us was when GDBus landed in glib. It was obvious that we needed to go that route instead of using dbus glib, which isn't as good, and it wasn't going to be maintained, and so we had to do that switch. Well, that wasn't quite an entire cycle, but it probably took a developer most of a cycle to be able to do that transition in all our libraries. Which is, we're talking about full-time developers. You're talking about a community project that's, a year of somebody's time just to do that transition. And if you stayed on dbus glib, you'd be, have bugs that you couldn't fix, and that aren't going to get fixed by someone else, and your project just kind of falls apart. And so those maintenance tasks become large, and they're expensive.
Did my sound drop out? Oh, we just have an uncomfortable silence.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm trying to wake up, Ted.
Okay, give me something else. I'll be funnier, I swear.
Let's see.
Try and lick your elbow, Ted.
Well
I know you
done.
like it.
It's pretty awesome. So what are you guys looking forward to in 1210? Let's just do like a, I don't know, a round table or something.
In 1210? What do you mean looking forward to? I mean, I think we've all been on 1210 for
Yeah.
so long now. The only thing we're looking forward to is 1304.
Yeah. Okay. How about this? What thing are you excited on for people to experience?
Previews. I'm really excited about previews.
Really?
Yeah. I think people are going to see a lot more use out of the dash because of that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like it. Just the right-click thing. I don't know how many people will do that.
Yeah, that's my concern too.
Well, when we first introduced the dash, everybody was like, why doesn't right-clicking do anything? Which means that everybody was trying right-clicking.
Well, I mean, those are Ubuntu people, not necessarily normal users.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do notice lately as more stuff happens in the dash, I'm starting to prefer running it full screen. So I kind of use it as a full screen overlay instead of this way.
We could probably put the right-click in the overlay shortcuts to let people know they can do that.
Yeah, I haven't used those for a while.
Yeah, that is a good idea, dude.
The thing I'm excited about is the fact that to me the dash is actually, so beforehand I found the dash was basically very similar to the previous way in which I worked. It performed broadly the same purpose, just in a different way, and I was happy to adapt to that different way. But now the dash is actually getting to a point where it brings me something new, like where I'm finding it like an invaluable part of how I'm working, and that is happening with each release. Like, I still think we have some work to do in terms of it being able to find stuff. Like, I'd like to be able to, it to have a finer grained means of finding the things that I need. Because one thing I'm sure it's the same as the rest of you guys. Like, I have hundreds and hundreds of different files that I'll dig into every so often that are buried away somewhere on my computer or in a Google Doc. Mm-hmm. And I think as we tune the searchability of the dash more and more, that'll just continue to become more and more useful. But to me, like, this cycle, I actually started using the dash more than ever. And I think that's because of the good work that's gone into it,
Yeah. I think I've got a problem with the Google Docs scope, because right now you could only the online accounts doesn't work well with multiple Google accounts connected.
Yeah.
And so I use Google Plus with my personal account, but almost all of the files I'm interested in are on my canonical account.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have exactly the same deal.
Have you tried the music preview in the Music Lens previews?
Yeah.
So I wish
you play 10 seconds of the track before you choose it.
I wish it would queue instead of like I want to be able to dash type Megadeth, right? And then like, but then when whoa,
Yeah, Megadeth is that shocking for us too.
sorry. Hey, so what's supposed to happen? Because in old ones I would preview, and then when I close the dash, the song would stop, and I was like, that's stupid.
Well, I think it depends on whether you have it or not, doesn't it? Like, you can preview songs that you don't have.
No, I'm talking about previewing albums.
You can play them.
Right, so here, hold on. Right, but when I close the dash, the music stops playing.
File a bug.
Banshee.
That should be a cue. No, I'm using Rhythmbox. I'm all stock now.
But is that a bug? I mean, surely that's just the preview operating while the dash is open. When you close the dash, and the preview stops.
Sure. I mean, I'd agree that what's happening is the intended behavior.
Right. Yeah.
But if it comes down to, what George was saying is I want to be able to, from that preview, say, cue this up. So keep playing this after my next one. Sure, I think that's a reasonable feature to ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying that it's not a bug, given the fact that the preview's working as expected. But yeah, there should be a button.
Yeah. My issue is more of like an intent as opposed to a technical bug, right?
Yeah.
Surely not an intent interface.
You need to shut up. Dealing with a bunch of very weary men right now.
I figure you've all been up for a long time.
In a while.
It's almost it.
So,
Don't do that, George.
Sorry.
Man, that's all I can do at this time of the day.
Amber has a question.
Just to make you all feel better, it's almost the end of Friday for me.
That's because you live on the moon, not like something else.
Almost the friend and wow. Okay.
Yeah. Thumper, if you look out your window, do you see like the Mars rover and stuff?
I feel like I'm quite pleased I didn't actually hear what George said then.
Oh, okay. That's probably pretty good then.
So Amber was asking while we were testing out 12.10, which of the features did we really think people were going to be excited about when they landed?
Oh, that's right.
So as much as I'm excited about previews, I thought that the web app integration is going to be the thing that was going to really excite people.
I've been waiting for new web apps for 4 years.
I think it depends on how people start picking it up. I mean, there's always a few that have been able to be done without it. If we start getting like a bunch of them, it could be really cool.
Yeah.
I think the online accounts, even though they're mostly not going to notice it, I think that's going to make a big difference to a lot of people. It's going to be something they're not going to realize is there until they are on a system that doesn't have it. And they're like, why do I have to log into every app?
That was funny. So I was actually chatting with Neil over IM, and Neil goes, "Hey, man, like I didn't set up this account on this VM. It's a new VM. Like, did you log into a website?" He's like, "Yes." Then you're connected.
Cool. It looks like we're losing Holback.
I think he's fine.
Not actually true. I think life is good.
It's just tobacco, right?
It is. Lemon.
I like to thank Anonymous for donating to Little Kids Rock, and my man Clint Byram rocking it from the Ubuntu server team.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Oh no. Service unavailable.
Uh-oh. Holbach, stop smoking and fix your website.
No, it's justgiving.com.
Oh. Holbach, stop smoking and fix someone else's website.
No, it works. It works for me. Just giving.
It works for me. Works totally fine.
Yeah, works for me too. I like the sound.
The sound of lemon and mint.
Yeah, sound of happiness.
I need to show it to you.
So tired, so tired. That's an Aussie song.
Because I really loved it when I was in the Middle East, where they had like a carpet where you could sit down and drink your tea, have a hookah pipe and everything. So I have the same now. It's awesome. It's like holidays, a bit of holidays in my living room.
All right. Any other questions for Ted and Tim? Tim and Ted. They sound like a children's TV act.
Hey, greetings from Brazil.
I can get
You
5.
guys are up late too.
Tim.
Yours is mirrored, by the way. You got to go on the other side.
Oh.
Oh, fail.
I'll give you 5.
Looks like a child's disco. All right.
Well, maybe we'll let you guys continue having your fun.
Thank you for joining us. I'm actually going to do
Cheers,
some
guys.
work
Good
right
luck.
Thanks. Thanks,
Have a
team.
great weekend.
Cheers,
Have
guys.
a good Friday, Tim.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ted.
No problem. Thanks, you guys. Have a good night.
Take it easy.
I'll watch. Hang out all night.
Cool.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning.
Daniel, what time do you actually end? Let's see, 10 UTC,
12.
12.
12.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to keep going until at least 8 or something.
Only another 7 hours, right?
Yes.
Yeah, only.
We're going to be so screwed, though, honestly, the East Coasters. Because Jonah could just go to bed, because it'll be the middle of the night, so he'll be fine.
Yeah,
But
my
when we're done, it'll be 6 a.m. We're going to be vampires all weekend.
my kids wake up at 7.
No sympathy. Oh, man.
All right.
He's already gone to bed.
So, it's all I can hear is the fapping of Holback's fapping of Holback's pipe.
It is a very soothing sound.
It does. It does actually.
You want to
Maybe
hear
I
a
should play some. Maybe I should play some drum and bass music.
You want to hear a soothing sound?
Do you have soothing sounds?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
My dad was very offended by your music.
Is it one of your religious bands?
And look at all those people disconnecting from IRC now.
So how many viewers do we still have?
Oh, there's nobody left, don't worry.
Only people in like New Zealand would even be up right now.
No, we have 31 live viewers. Shout outs to all of you.
Oh,
Rock
31
on.
still. That's
Yes.
dedication, guys.
Massive
they just
dedication. Or
They
just
just left
extreme
their
interest.
computers. They just left their computers running.
No, that does make me sleepy,
I
actually.
was gonna say, don't do the crickets anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't
It's gonna make me tired.
Well, yeah. You don't want anything that makes you feel sleepy.
No.
Fair enough.
I don't want noise either.
I can solve that problem.
I don't want to stab myself in the ear.
If you play metal, it needs to be melodic. Don't play thrash. We can solve that problem.
Hang on.
Dude.
This is very funny.
You can tell that Daniel's really pretty much given up caring.
He is gone. Absolutely gone. You know what actually is killing me is my legs. Anybody else? Like, my knees hurt and my legs are cramping like crazy.
No,
Just
I've been
sitting.
trying to get up and walk around.
Yeah, like, I'm starting to lose feeling now. I think I've been sitting so long.
We're about to lose Nick.
Alright, maybe I might transition to my laptop just so I can stand.
All right. Does that mean we're not going to be in front of the Ubuntu shower curtain?
Are there any balloons left on the shower curtain?
I've got 3 balloons left.
Oh, let's do a balloon.
Let's do a balloon.
Alright.
That sounds so wrong given your nickname.
Everybody loves me. No, they don't. They don't. Woo. It's making me blink at this hour.
It's like 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Come on.
You guys are acting like it's 5 o'clock in the morning. It's like 11 o'clock at night.
I slept for like 4 hours, and we've been up for 17, 16. Yeah. Well, it's just a normal response. After that many hours, after 16 hours, you want to sleep for 8. That's
Yeah, let's see how you're doing at 11 o'clock your time.
Yeah. That's what I think as well. Like at 5 o'clock in the morning here.
Yeah.
Like grannies.
Wait, so is this for me?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out where's my wife. Supposedly there's a hidden sticker. There's a sticker on this board.
There's a hidden sticker?
One.
Yes, it's a Where's Waldo puzzle.
Is it down there on the left?
I don't
Like-
know. I'm never seriously.
Probably
this is
behind something.
yeah.
Behind all your stuff.
It's probably behind the smiley face one.
She probably didn't put it up there, and she's just screwing with.
That would be.
I bet by 11 o'clock I could make him spend an hour looking for a sticker.
Oh, nice. Can you see that?
Nope.
All right. This is gonna be proof. Proof I found the sticker.
Can't see anything.
Oh. Now you see my screen.
Yes.
And now you're gonna see the sticker.
Nope, nothing. Closer. Closer. Closer.
Oh, check it out.
See it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a keyboard key sticker?
I think it might be. It's tiny. It's off the little pack. Check out my giant monitor. You can be more jealous. It's okay.
Not the size.
It's not the size that matters? Okay.
Depends.
Depends on what we're talking about.
Yeah, it depends on the monitor.
Whoa!
I just love the.
Did you just pop another one?
I popped another balloon.
This is what happens when we start talking like that.
Alright, this one's easy. Tell a knock-knock joke. I've got one.
Alright.
I'll let somebody else go first, though. Unless you want me to go first.
No, go first.
Yeah, we want you to.
Alright. Knock-knock.
Who's there?
The interrupting cow.
The interrupting cow.
Boo!
That works a lot better without a video delay.
Daniel, they're doing this at 11 o'clock.
I didn't get the joke. Didn't make any sense. Sorry. Trying hard. But...
Trying hard? You can choose any animal you wish. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. Anyways. Nobody else has a knock-knock joke?
I wasn't sure if anyone had noticed, but we've turned into a group of babbling idiots.
Yep.
Let's do something productive. How about registering blueprints?
I already did.
I spoke to Joyce at night. It makes me feel alright.
Sublime. Smoke 2 joints. Then I smoke 2 more.
Was that a message from 1998?
Yep.
1990. What? Yeah, 1998 called. It's good stuff.
Oh, I'll be back in a sec.
You know, we should all move just like 2 feet away so we're out of the camera when he comes back. Like, nobody's there when he comes
Oh yeah, we should just put gone to bed or something. He's so funny. All right. Who wants to draw? No one else is doing it. Desk toys. You guys have desk toys, right?
Desk toys?
No desk toys?
No.
Seriously?
I don't have a desk.
Nobody has. I know Joe. I can't be the only one sharing here. This feels one-sided. So this is Monty. This is
your creature of unknown.
Yes, this is the creature of unknown origin.
It's
He's
your
a
tusk.
I don't know if you noticed. He's got tusks now. See?
I see that. They look like prosthetics, though.
Well, you know, they're tusks. And this...
Tell Monty to just be himself.
This guy is his long-lost, I don't know what. He hasn't told me yet. We're going with brother? Cousin twice removed. Okay. This is proof positive that he's a walrus, see? Yeah, I mean, can't you see the resemblance?
Oh, yeah. No.
No. I mean, he's obviously a little smaller. He's not grown up yet, but, you know, it works. What else? Here. Oh, yes, we have the pug.
Pug. Where's the real
pug? The real pug's wandering around somewhere. This is
right?
Yes, he's a puggle. Here, we can get him on camera. Everybody loves puppies, right? He's not a puppy anymore, though.
But he's still small, which is all anybody cares about.
Oh, he's a big puppy now. Say hello.
Wow, he's bigger than I thought he was.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's any pug in there.
Oops. Oh, yeah. He smells food. He smells the food on my desk. He's going crazy now.
Smells that walrus.
Stay, buddy. Here. Say hello.
Leave me alone. Give me something to eat.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
All right.
So, George.
This is mine. He's already given up.
Nice. How old is he?
We're not real sure. We got him from a shelter. I think he's about 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah, mine is my sister's.
David, how about you?
George, still there? You muted.
I haven't got any desktop tools really for animals.
How long have I been muted? I think I've been.
There you go.
Okay.
George, you said you like dubstep?
Yeah.
So that's music we can agree on?
Sure.
Awesome.
And now
I'm going
that's
to play
on
some-
tape.
I'm going to play some dubstep. I'm really getting tired. I need some music now.
So is your brother trying to sleep right now?
No, he's sleeping at my sister's.
Ah,
Yeah, because he has to go to work tomorrow, and that would be a bit crazy.
I didn't actually get to eat my dinner, so I'm gonna go reheat it. I'll be right back.
You just... Wow, I don't know how you could just look at food for that long.
A do. A da. That's from Clint. Clint, I need you in my life. Clint, you doing anything? Someone invite Clint on for a little bit. I need
Alright. Where's Clint at? Let's see.
I need some frosted tips in my life.
I don't see him. Is he not in the channel?
No, he's spam apps. He's a palindrome.
Why am I not seeing him? I know.
He's an Irish-
Oh, he's just marked as away. Why are you marked as away?
Alright, when Clint comes back, start making fun of him. I'm just gonna get something to drink. You know what? In hindsight, it's a good thing I didn't get beer. I'd be like,
Ooh, nice.
what?
This is my flag from Guinea. Fan. My fan from Guinea. There you go. Oh, I forgot I was going to wear my... What time is it? We were supposed to celebrate mornings with everybody. You know, like when London wakes up. He's got a live one.
Come back, George.
Someone is not completely exhausted.
We should somehow plan a way to punk George when he gets back. There has to be a way. Could you all like pretend to sleep? Like, no, that might actually result in you all sleeping.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Maybe you could all pretend that you just decided to spontaneously write a juju charm together.
Oh no,
Oh,
that'd
we
be a
should live
positive
write a
surprise.
He would explode in delight.
Some call it marijuana, some call it sensimedia, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it
Nice. Oh. Just when it was getting good.
That's no fun. Yeah, we should totally write a choo-choo charm. That would be really productive.
It would be.
Yeah. I've actually got one that I think I have to add myself as the maintainer to, and then push it to the store. It's been sitting like that for like 5 months. It's kind of really sad on my part.
Which one?
It's a charm for Vivo. There's been a new upstream release as well, I think.
I think I told you to do the maintainer on that one.
Yeah.
I might have been your remote.
yeah,
That's
I
a
think
really
it was.
cool software, actually. Really cool.
It is. I just never pushed myself back, or never put that in and pushed it back up. I just remembered it for some reason. It fell off the radar. I don't think it ever got. I don't think it ever got in the store.
I bet I still have it on my disk here. I'll deploy it for everyone in Ubuntu on Air to pound on.
Oh, excellent. You can look at my handiwork. So this is proof, though. If I can write a charm, And hey, let's face it, look at me. Anybody can. I'm the poster child for writing charms.
So, someone interviewing Clint?
No, I just stormed. I stormed
hanging?
into Google Plus.
Yep, he's just hanging. George was going to ask him some questions, but...
What time zone are you in, Clint?
Pacific.
Okay, so you're on Jono's time. It's not so late yet.
Yeah.
He's doing well.
I'm letting the 3-year-old finish Wallace and Gromit, and then he's going to go to sleep. So, George, we decided we're all going to sit here and watch you write a charm. Go.
Okay. No, I'll just pick like a packaged thing and just charm create and then submit it with the README.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know if anyone's got a Magento charm?
This is what I need. I'm getting caffeine here.
I remember it coming out. There was like an open bug for it, but I don't think anybody ever wrote it.
Yeah, I installed it once for my brother, and it's kind of a pain in the ass to get started.
What is it, Magento?
Yeah, it's a PHP shopping cart program.
Hey, George,
Yeah.
do you have a beer?
No, this is a Coke.
Open a beer.
No, actually, I was just saying while you were gone, I was like, it's a good thing I didn't get beer, because I'd be like...
Yeah.
Daniel, my wife Jill says she's listening to your dubstep and wants you to play more. She's actually, like, excited to listen to your music. Just letting you know.
Oh, and he left.
I'll see ya.
Yeah. His Crypt Keeper mix on Mixcloud is my favorite. I think I've already learned it, though.
I have a hard time writing a charm when I'm not tired. Well, but I figured I would maintain one charm in the charm store, the IRC Cloud, because I kind of understood how that service worked. And unfortunately, the upstream guy retired the project, so now I'm like, great. So what are you working on, Clint?
I'm deploying the Vivo charm that's been sitting on my disk since May 23rd.
Vivo. Which one's that one?
And which I believe one of your team members wrote.
Yeah, that was my charm, George. I was just remembering. Yeah. And so we were talking about it. I think the only thing left to do is to add myself as maintainer, and then push it in or something. It's really silly. It's just sitting.
Matt's asking why I had to put on a lanyard to leave the room. That's because my furniture and boxes just got here today, and I haven't seen this lanyard in a while, so I thought I'd wear it.
You need it for access to the kitchen.
It's got his UV.
No, I don't know. I just wanted to support this. The first thing I did was find my Juju shirt, though. See, Clint?
I do see. But aren't those just for the fans?
Yeah, I've got one that I keep. And then the rest, I actually have a supply of Juju shirts that I mail out to contributors individually if you write a charm and it gets in the charm store. Isn't that wonderful?
All right, so our donations are starting to slow down to a trickle. We need to do something.
That's because everyone is asleep.
Well, let's get the ones that are too tired to make rational decisions about how much they're allowed to donate.
Mike raises a good point. We need to get some epic coin rolling.
Write a charm. I'll write a charm.
Notice how Clint vanishes.
I've had 2 people mention that if ask if all they have to do is write a charm, they get the shirt. Yes, you get the shirt. You get a handy-dandy plastic Ubuntu travel mug.
Anybody who writes a charm still?
Yeah. If you write a charm and we put it in the store. So you have to go through the review process and stuff. If you're short on time and looking for stuff to do, it's way cooler than whatever other thing Michael has you doing. Where did Clint go?
He got the screen share drop. bug.
Oh, okay.
Where did Daniel go?
I think he's dubstepping.
Is that code for sleeping?
Charming, as Matt says, charming for donations until the shirts run out.
Michael, do you have any? Do you have a few minutes to talk about accomplishments?
Sure.
So, did you see the email that Raffle sent out today?
Yeah.
So they had a meeting to discuss the next steps. I'm just responding to the email. They had a meeting today, the usual kind of twice weekly meeting, to discuss next steps. And first of all, they weren't sure whether we should do a 0.4 or a 1.0 release. So what I'm recommending is that we do a 0.4 release. And we do that around kind of February time. And then we shoot for a 1.0 release that will hit Quantum, that will hit the archive. And the agreement here is that there'll be no more changes, really, no more feature changes made to the daemon. It'll just be client changes and bug fixes.
All right, now which Quantal archive are you wanting to target?
Sorry, not Quantum, for the R release.
Okay.
Rampant Raccoon or whatever it's going to be called.
It runs fine on Quantal though, right? We can send it to backports if we wanted.
Yeah, no, it works great, and I'd like to make sure that we definitely release it for Precise as well.
Either that or we can change everything so that it'll install into opt and send it through the ARB.
So the areas that we were talking about that he's suggesting we focus on is, AJ Mitch says Quantal backports is open now, which is good.
Yep, I've actually submitted a singlet update to Quantal backports today.
Yay!
Thanks again to Daniel to helping me get that done.
Finally, my audience. Okay?
Put your kid on. I need a distraction.
Is my audio bad?
No, you sound good. Sorry to interrupt.
I think I'm going to forward a few more patches to Debian. I need to do some work.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some work now.
Okay. We're going to talk about accomplishments.
Yeah. So Mike, the focus is going to be on, for the client, we've discussed for a while, like...
All right, now I have my charming Kate.
So what we're talking about doing is, because we'll do mainly client changes, is one aspect is changing the GTK interface so it's got like a wooden cabinet type view for the trophies.
Nick, I had to mute you. There's a lot of feedback or something coming from your mic. Sorry, Jono, go ahead.
Yeah, so the idea is that we'll do like a wooden cabinet view for the trophy view, so it looks kind of more realistic. That's gonna require a GTK expert to help with that. Then
where are you going to find one of those?
Sorry?
Where are you going to find one of those?
Don't know. Then we'll need maybe a JavaScript CSS person who can help out with the viewer aspects of the WebKit side of things. And then he writes, depending on who we find, the view will continue to feature GTK icon view-based trophy browser, or we'll make heavy use of WebKit and use it with interactive JavaScript to display the trophies collection. So the idea of rolling our own widget with WebKit, which we talk about every release of Ubuntu accomplishments, and we always use GTK because it's too hard. This is where you come in, Mike.
All right.
As the owner of this work. So they say we'll need blueprints concerning Ubuntu accomplishments. A rumor claims that Michael Hall is doing a session on server and online gallery. So I'm assuming that you want to have a session on just the validation server and then a session on the gallery second, right?
I've put them both in the same blueprint right now because I'm not sure that that there's an hour worth of content on both.
Okay. Well, you can always schedule another session.
Yeah.
Let me just note this down.
But I think there's going to be enough overlap as far as how the deployments are going to work that we don't need 2 separate sessions for those. I was going to ask you if you were going to register a separate set of sessions for like future planning, future feature work, that kind of thing, on accomplishments.
Right. So I'm going to respond here and say, I'm going to ask Raffle, because I don't know if you know this, but Raffle and Matt Fisher are both going to be at UDS.
How about Janos?
I don't think Janos is going to be there, which is a shame. So I'm going to suggest that Raffle takes care of the blueprints. So my recommendation.
So I've already made blueprint for getting the web services going, and for making sure that the clients are packaged and submitted to the archives.
Right.
But as far as new feature development, I haven't created any blueprints for that.
So I'm going to ask Raffle to register blueprints for features we want to build in 0.4, 1.0. Raffle can help with this. Let us know when you registered. Okay, so you're going to have. So I'll say that you're going to follow up with the blueprint name. So there's going to be a viewer-oriented blueprint, fixes technologies, features, and designs. We'll also need a session where we might brainstorm ideas on how we can improve the default accomplishments collections. I'll try gathering the feedback we get from others on a wiki page to sum up what the main concerns are.
Do you want to make a like a meta package of accomplishments so that they can install that, and then whenever you add a new set of accomplishments, you can just add that as a dependency to a new version of the meta? And
Sorry, say that again, Mike.
Right now you've got 2 packages for accomplishments. You've got the desktop ones and the community ones.
Right.
I was asking, do you want to make one meta package that depends on both of those?
Yeah, we could do that.
And that'll let you add to it and get people to install the new packages without them having to go and specify them individually.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So I'm going to suggest that we do some user testing. Martin Owens put forward a design suggestion around making it easier to see aggregate accomplishments.
Put a comment on that on his wiki page. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. But I think that makes a lot of sense.
I like the idea of changing it. I don't like the idea of having ranked trophies.
Yeah, neither do I. When deciding on that, we'll reach out and ask interested people to participate. Of course, everyone is welcome. Sounds great. Thanks for putting together this work. I think it would be cool to have it. So, Mike, can I ask a favor?
Sure.
As in terms of accomplishments, you're basically going to be my proxy at UDS. Can I ask you to, what I think will be really cool at UDS is for us to use it as an opportunity to first of all, get people interested in participating in the project. I'd like to make accomplishments like a really prominent theme there.
Okay.
In fact, you know what would be really cool? I'm going to buy you guys some T-shirts. Like some team accomplishments T-shirts or something. I think that'd be super cool. You know, just like get one for you, Raffle, and Matt Fisher. Just to kind of build a little bit of buzz around it. Also, yeah. So what I was going to say was, I think it would be cool if we use this as a means to do some training. You know, so like there's going to be a set of accomplishment sessions, but also to train people in how to create a new accomplishment as well.
Yeah, you've got an accomplishment already for people who work on this, right?
Yeah.
You should use that trophy and like the text from that accomplishment in the T-shirts.
Oh, that's a cool idea. That's a cool idea. You know what? I might start making that T-shirt design tonight. I just want it to be like a really fun thing for people to participate in. So would you be okay like helping to coordinate that stuff at UDS?
Yeah, I'm assuming that Mariana or Michelle will get the shirts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that should be fine. I mean, I'll just expense them. The other thing that might be kind of cool is to maybe I suggested to, I think it was Matt the other day, to maybe organize a dinner. Maybe you guys can go out for dinner one night if there's a night free.
Okay.
And then obviously you can just expense it, or Michelle can pay for it or whatever. Okay. So what I think would be good is if we have a wiki page where we track all of the blueprints. I'm going to create that wiki page, and then if you can add the blueprints that you've already done.
Okay.
Do you know one of the weirdest things about working today is working without music?
I'm basically working without music. I am so aching for Megadeth right now.
Yeah.
I just have some music running. Much better.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get another laptop out and see what I can cobble together. Maybe play a game or something.
Okay. All right. So, Mike, this is it. You can go and update that with the blueprints that you've got. I'm just going to add this to my email.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm losing myself.
What's that?
Are we there yet?
No.
Let's mute him.
I still can't wait to put cool stuff in my new office. Oh, yes. Hey, Jonah. Yeah. It's my trooper, dude. The thing is, the office is going to be on the main floor now instead of the basement. So I can't put cool metal stuff everywhere.
AJ Mitch is asking if there are app development and ARB blueprints to subscribe to. I've created a couple of app developer ones, and I think David was going to have a bunch also. I don't know about the ARB.
I was going to send an email out about the ARB. We talked about proposing a new way of it working.
Yeah, I sent you. I sent you the.
You sent me the data.
Ideas I had. Did you get that?
Yeah, no, I got it. I just haven't sent it out yet.
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of HMH, in terms of app developer blueprints, they're going to be there probably next week. I'll try to, if I can file, if I can register some today. I'll actually finish them next week, Monday or so. In terms of the RB ones, I'm not planning to file anyone, but I'll wait. I'll wait for John to send his email.
Yeah. So, you guys, have any of you created blueprints for UDS yet?
Me.
Yeah.
I created the ones for Valve, but okay. I want to check those with you.
Could you guys update the 1304 strategic spreadsheet with your blueprints?
Yes.
I did all that this morning. Oh yeah, dude. Bacon.
Hmm? Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I have all these. I just started collecting random metal memorabilia one day.
And another patch successfully forwarded to Debian.
So, Nick, how many man pages have you written? Wait, where is Nick?
He's like, I've been in bed for 4 hours.
I think he's gone for a nap again.
The internet is not working. Cheap excuse.
Nobody's gonna believe that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I got a music trivia game. I think we can do this.
I must admit, I'm a little bit tired.
Hey, where did Nick go?
Sleeping in his cave.
Yeah.
Didn't I just ask this question?
It's all gone dark.
Hey, Jonah, I've got an idea.
Yeah?
I'm gonna pull it. I'm here. I just turned out the lights.
I'm unpacking my office stuff, and I found some of my records, and I was thinking I can hold up an album, and then we can see who can name songs off of it.
All right.
What do you guys think? All right. And it's an eclectic collection, so it should actually be fair to some people.
Probably not.
Except for Daniel, because we don't have dubstep. I mean, who has that? Really no. Okay.
Criminal.
This will be good for you Englishmen.
We can just read it.
No, I mean, you're supposed to tell us what songs are on this album.
Intro.
I don't know anything about Def Leppard.
Nothing?
No. I'm not into
Photograph?
head.
I gotta have you photograph. Never heard that song ever?
No.
Rock of Ages? All
I
right.
bought a Def Leppard Greatest Hits album one time, and it was a blank CD.
All right, moving on.
Tough crowd.
This is a classic here. Just name the album if you can't even figure this out. Oh,
Yeah, I don't know anything about Van Halen either.
I was gonna say, can we guess the band?
5150. This was the first album with Van Hagar. Check out the hair.
It's a great haircut.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Maybe this game isn't as awesome as I thought it would be.
Do you have any metal?
Now I'm getting there. Hold on. I'm randomly picking. I don't want to make it fair for Daniel. Oh, here you go.
I can't read that.
Okay, so that's Rush. You probably don't know anything about that. Okay.
I thought it was
Like I say,
Enya.
do you have any metal?
All right, here we go. Here we go. A really easy one.
I think that might be Kill 'Em All by Metallica.
Okay, you gotta name some songs off of it, though. I think that's... Actually, wait, I'll make it really hard, Bacon. Without using the internet, I want you to name every song on this album. Bonus
Alright.
in order. In order. In
Oh,
order.
I can't name it. I can't name it in order.
Okay, okay.
Thunderstruck. Just trolling.
Alright. Hit the Lights.
Yep.
Phantom Lord. Phantom Lord?
Sort of, it depends. But I'll count it, yeah.
I'm not familiar with that song. Sort of, it depends.
No, I'll explain why later.
Jump in the Fire.
Yep.
Whiplash.
Yep.
Anesthesia.
Yep.
Sorry, do you want Anesthesia Pulling Teeth, the full
Yeah.
title?
I'll accept that, yeah.
Is Am I Evil on there?
No.
It's not the extended.
Right. Oh no, wait. Yeah, Phantom Lord is on the side B, so yeah, that one's on there.
Ha! Oh, let me think. The Four Horsemen.
Yep.
I haven't heard that album for ages. Motor Breath.
Yep, man. I didn't think you'd get that one.
How many am I missing?
You are missing two, sir. The last two tracks. You're gonna punch yourself when you figure out the one you're forgetting. Uh-oh, we're running out of time.
I don't know.
Metal Militia.
What?
Metal Militia.
Ah!
Seek and Destroy, dude. For those of you listening, there's also two tracks that were included on them for bonus points that were not included in the original Kill 'Em All, added later. Go.
Am I Evil?
Yep.
And
My favorite Metallica song.
oh,
The Blitzkrieg.
yeah, Blitzkrieg.
Yeah. All right. Next.
This is a fun game.
Before you move on to the next one, I just want to say thank you to Thomas Richards for donating to my charity and putting me once again ahead of Nick.
Okay. Here we go. There's no shortage of Metallica albums.
Ah, and Justice for All. Okay.
One.
All right.
Okay, so there is
Justice for All.
One and Justice for All. Harvester of Sorrow.
Yep.
God, my mind is blanking.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Oh. Straw Ends of Sanity. Whatever it's called.
Frayed Ends of Sanity.
Frayed Ends of Sanity.
And you're mixing it up with the
Something straw.
shortest straw.
The shortest straw.
Has been pulled for you.
Yeah!
Yeah, Daniel knows what's going on.
Man.
He's got the techno version of that.
No.
Oh.
Let's start with the very first song. Cool intro.
Blackening.
Blackened, okay.
Blackening. Yeah, Blackening. Blackening's a Severed Fifth song. Blackened. Have I said And Justice for All?
Daniel got that one.
I should have gone through this in order.
You've got 3 left. 2 on the B side and one on the front. Those of you not familiar with what I'm talking about, in the old days, records and cassette tapes, you had to flip them over. If the song was a B side, it was generally
That's back when they were powered by dinosaurs, right?
powered by fossil fuels and dinosaurs.
All right, so
3 songs.
Nick is asking to be invited back to the Hangout, but I'm pretty sure he's the one who started it.
Yeah. You should be able to join it again.
Yeah, it's working for me when the internet connection has broken. I can just reload the page.
So hang on a second. Let me just go through this again. So, Blackened, And Justice for All,
Yep.
Great Ends of Sanity, Harvester of Sorrow, One, The Shortest Straw.
Yep, 3 more.
Do
you want me to tell you what they're... Maybe I could tell you what the song's about.
Yeah.
Okay. One's an instrumental.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of. Oh.
It has like my
Fade to
favorite...
Grey? No, what's it called again? Fade to Black? Fade to something?
No, wrong album.
That's on Ride the Lightning.
Also not an instrumental.
Yeah,
So-
instrumental. Oh.
Hey, there's Nick.
To blank is to blank.
To live is to die.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Nick, since you weren't here, I don't know if you heard, but I am back in front of you on the donation chart.
Owned. What is
Has
on
he
his
got a
head?
shower cap on?
Is that a shower cap?
Crazy.
Yes.
Oh man. Not even past midnight.
Wait.
It's his nightcap.
Two
Can
more.
you hear me?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
very funny. This is
Yeah, we
nice.
can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, most
good.
important thing,
Yes,
we can see you.
You're making. You're
All right, George, I fail.
One is really fast. It's probably their fastest song.
I thought I would get out from the wall, but I.
Dyer's Eve.
Dyer's Eve.
Yeah. And then the last one, the song before One, which was actually on the B side of the single of One, because I used to own it. Eye of the Beholder. See, when I got this album, I was in 9th grade, and the concept of songs being titled but not being sung about in the chorus was like weird to me.
Yeah.
So, me and my brother always when we were growing up, we would add "Eye of the Beholder," even though that didn't make sense. All right, next album. What we got going on here? Oh man, everyone should know this record.
Queen 2.
Right. Actually, it's backwards on the thing. Actually, you're not going to get any of these whatsoever. Okay, I'm skipping that one. That one's impossible. Probably the worst Rush record ever. Crest of Steel. Anyone know any songs on this record?
No.
Man, I got a lot of Rush, dude. So Craig Maloney got me into this. I just go into record stores and they sell these for like $4. I just like to set them up for like the artwork and stuff. So I have like a little Rush wall. I have like a Metallica wall with all of them. Let's see what we got here. Okay, this one should be easy.
Is that the Black Album?
Yes, it is.
Track listing.
Yep.
All right. Enter Sandman.
You should know some of these. I mean, come on, Nick.
So, Enter Sandman. Sabbath True.
Unforgiven.
Man.
The one.
Everywhere Under Rome. Nothing Else Matters. The Unforgiven. Problem I've got is that I can hear the album. I can hear the song.
Yeah. You got 4 left. They're all on side 4, second side of the last disc.
So see,
So we'll go with the coolest bass line on the album, The God That Failed.
God that failed.
My Friend of Misery, the only song written by Jason Newsted on this record.
Jason Newsted, who lives 4 miles from my house.
What? What are you doing here?
It turns out that Jason Newsted lives in Walnut Creek.
What? I might want to hang out with you. And then Struggle Within.
Struggle Within!
Yeah, one of Kirk's coolest solos. I don't know if he said Holier Than Thou either. You got the rest, though. Man, do I really
Jono
have...
got all the easy ones. It's not fair.
What's that?
Jono got all the easy ones. It's kind of not fair.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. Anyone at the Genesis? Or am I the only one?
Only my dad.
Alright. This album's awesome in that movie American Psycho, when he's talking about stuff. And Huey Lewis and the News. Alright, let's see.
Alright. Oops. I'm gonna get this accomplishment stuff in shape.
Isn't this the coolest artwork?
Yeah, it looks like Labyrinth.
That's Rush Fly By Night.
So, thanks, Mike, for updating that page. So, Nick and Daniel, what do you guys want to do at UDS in terms of this automated testing stuff? Now is a great time to have this discussion.
Yeah, it is.
I really liked the testing thing we did the last time in one of the evenings, and I think it would be great to have some kind of event where you would start with a quick demo of how some random test case is done, or some class of test case, and then you would just divide, or you just tell people, here's a list of packages, let's try to get these test cases done for all of the packages, and somebody like Pity or somebody's who knows how this all works would go around it and help people to get this done somehow, and there would be pizza and beer as always.
Yeah. So it seems to me that we're going to need to know a few things. One is, first of all, how do you write an automated test? What does it look like?
So let me just find a quick example. But the ones I saw, there was like a description file in there where you just set a few values, really short, really small, and the rest you could have a shell script or something in Python. It was very, very easy to do. Let me just get an example from somewhere.
One of the things that I think we're going to need to figure out, I know I talked to you guys about this on the phone, and maybe if some of you other guys are interested in, if you have any ideas around this, is I think the challenge that we have with QA is being able to, like, QA is something that you like when you write code, or when you contribute as a coder, you get to see the output of your contribution. You get to play with it. Users get to use it, right? So there's a very tactile response to your contribution. The same thing with, with documentation, So the thing about QA is that, to me, QA is like, it's an aggregate form. Like when you add a test to a piece of software and that test passes, you don't necessarily see, you may see the test pass and you may see the report, but you don't necessarily see or feel the result of that contribution. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you do provides an aggregate addition of quality to the overall product. I'd like us to try and figure out a way in which we can make an automated test contribution just feel more tactile, like it feels more like something. And that may be like visibility on that contribution somehow. I don't know. That's the thing I'd like to kind of explore. Because like I think we can go to UDS and you can say, like you guys can say, okay, we need looking at the on-ramp, we need documentation for how to write an automated test. We need some examples. And then we need a big list of tests that need writing. And we can probably reasonably easily do that ready for UDS. And we can go to UDS and we can get people excited and we can buy them pizza and beer and we can encourage them to do it. But I'm just conscious of the fact that, I wouldn't want this work to feel like kind of unfruitful, hard work where people don't feel like they're, you know what I'm saying?
Totally. And that's great because I talked to Pity and he explained to me like how really small and simple tests that look kind of irrelevant in the beginning turned out to be super helpful, and we were able to catch a bunch of bugs. So for example, I just pasted a link in the channel. This is just a quick example with which you make sure that a piece of glib code can still be built and everything. So there's this control file where you say this is a build test, and you basically say which packages do we need to have installed to let the test just work. And what it does is you have a shell script where you just dump a little bit of C code on the disk, run GCC to let it build and run it, and depending on the return code or if the script fails, it's going to we're going to know if the test fails or not. And I think just sharing a couple of stories how for example, something in the package installation went wrong and we were able to pick this up very easily, just a few minutes after the package was uploaded. Stories like that show people that contributing it once and basically having it always sit in there and always run and always be tested. So this bug is not going to occur again. I think that's very powerful message. And nobody's going to feel like, I don't know, I just wasted 2 hours. And
you see, that to me is a really good example, Daniel, of basically saying, even though we might not necessarily be able to turn on a blinking light to show someone their contribution, what we can do is visualize that bug ain't coming back, or that functionality is going to work. So I'll give you an example. When we were working on Ubuntu accomplishments, for 0.2, we started getting more contributions from just random people, and we were finding that people were contributing things to the daemon, and then it was causing the daemon to break, and we wouldn't find the breakage. It was a kind of the classic example of stuff would break and we wouldn't see it breaking, and it would cause problems later on. Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, speaking of causing problems.
So, you know, it was like then Matt Fisher put together a collection of automated, like, unit tests for our daemon, and it was amazing how much nicer hacking on the daemon felt, because you know that when you take the contribution, you run the unit test, and you know everything there. That assurance, I think, is the key thing there.
I mean, one thing is... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, in a big project like Ubuntu, how do we... I just want to make sure that people feel, like, connected to what they're doing. I know it sounds a bit kind of, like, hippie-ish, but, like, I want them to make sure that they feel like what they're doing, everything that they do, edges Ubuntu towards perfection, that step further.
I mean, I think it's worth also pointing out that it's important that we also have people who maintain tests. I mean, it sounds nice in theory to have a test sit there and it's always going to work, but sometimes you have, I don't know, a library where the API changes or where paths change, and because of these changes, the test is going to fail. So sometimes you will need to update the tests again. It's also worth pointing out, but generally, I think it's still true.
So
contribute once, and it's not going to break again.
Yeah. So based upon your guys' knowledge right now, how would this work? So let's assume someone has the knowledge to write a test. So, and they have a test written, it works on their local machine.
Yep.
How would they go about submitting that?
Basically, just like any other change to a package, because the tests are stored in the packages themselves.
So they'd need to package it. They'd need to be able
to... No,
to...
just a regular merge proposal. You would branch the source package branch, add your test in there, test run it.
So they'd submit a merge proposal for the thing that they're better to test.
Exactly.
So it will be upon the branch owner to determine whether that test is high quality.
Yeah, it would be just a regular. It would go into the sponsoring queue. I think that's great, because there's people they can apply for upload rights later on, because it's a worthwhile contribution.
And Nick, how are these automated tests visualized right now? Is it just through? Is it through Jenkins right now?
Yes. So, as you said, the visualization of this would be Jenkins, and that's something that the interface is public. I posted it a little while ago. It's just jenkins.qa.ubuntu.com. You can see everything that's out there right now. It's not highly publicized or utilized by the community per se, simply because none of the jobs that run on Jenkins are really community contributed at this point. But that's all changing. So.
Okay.
So how far can something get before one of these tests will catch it? Like, can it get to where a new version of a package has been sent to Universe, and then there's like one final build that it fails?
I have to admit, there's certain parts of the infrastructure I have no idea about yet. But I'm going to read up on all the documentation that PT sent me, and I'm going to have a chat with him before UDS. I don't know yet.
Because it'd be pretty cool to highlight, say, we almost had a regression, but thanks to this person who submitted a test, 6 months ago, we were able to catch this before it landed on everybody's desktop. And just kind of like point out the unsung heroes that keep things working properly.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to, I think what's probably going to be a good idea for us to do is to put together, I'm going to put together a Google Doc that just tracks like what we need to do on this project. And I think we have a set of things that we're going to need to get ready for UDS, right?
Yeah.
So
maybe, sorry.
I was just going to say, do you guys have any idea right now about what documentation is in place and whether we have a list of things, a list of tests that need doing?
No, no.
So we're going to want to get those in place.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really make sense to put this in a blueprint right now because a lot of this is going to have to be ready for UDS itself. So let's. In fact, I'm going to create a spreadsheet.
I think it would be nice to do that event. Let's say on Tuesday, so we still would have Monday where we get together to figure some of the stuff out. And then on Wednesday, present the results in an afternoon plenary session, just for 15 minutes. Just talk about what happened to highlight the great work that's been going on, and also give a quick introduction to everyone else who didn't make it there.
Okay, so in terms of things that we need to do, so I'm going to put this down as pre-UDS, and then we can have post-UDS, or at UDS, rather. So, okay, so work item-wise, I'm just going to note these down first. So we're going to need to prepare, or create, so how to create an automated test guide. We're going to need a set of quality guidelines for each automated test. Hang on. Okay, so UDS automated test average. So what do you guys want to do in terms of, like once we have the documentation available, we're going to want to announce it in the build-up. So we're going to need blog announcing UDS automated test event.
So I think for the event, we should have a very narrow focus. So we would just pick, let's say, 2 different categories of tests and not try to cover everything. And I think our expectation shouldn't be that all the documentation, like every small detail and small bug we find in there, that everything is fixed until UDS, because everybody's busy working on the release. I'm not sure that's going to work, but if we have everything ready for those 1 or 2 categories of test cases we want people to work on, I think that would be great already. Then a nice small presentation or demo to show people how it works.
So we're going to want to do a plenary talk, right? So.
Yeah, like after the event where we say this is something I don't know, Nick worked on, and this is something Michael did, and here's how it's all going to work.
So what I'm thinking we may want to do is do a plenary, maybe on the Monday after lunch, like a 15-minute, like how to write an automated test in 15 minutes kind of thing, and then use that as an opportunity to point people towards the automated test party on one of the nights.
Okay, and then another plenary to demo the results, or how would you do that? I think it would be nice to celebrate what happened there and
you know what we could do?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what would be perfect. Why don't we have you're running the community track. Oh, you and Nick are both running tracks. But maybe one of you guys, at the end of the week when each of the track leads gets up and they summarize their tracks in the final hour of UDS. Why don't we use that as a means for one of you guys to get up and say, so we've had this automated test campaign this week, and this is what we got done.
Or yeah, that would work, or maybe as a in the lightning sessions round, there would also be a possibility.
Yeah, the only reason why I'm suggesting the last hour is, first of all, everybody's attention is there.
Yes.
And secondly, the lightning talk might be a bit short. And the problem with the plenaries is that we're really, really tight on plenary slots for UDS. So I'm going to I'll put this down for now, and then we can always decide later.
Yeah,
Final
perfect.
wrap-up summary at the end of. So summary in end of UDS wrap-ups. So there's going to be the automated testing beer and pizza party on one of the evenings. So one of the work items here is going to be coordinate with Shazane around when to do the automated test beer pizza party. Because we're going to want to make sure that, we have the beer and the pizza.
Yeah.
The other thing which I think will be cool is I'd like to really make this a proper thing. So I think it'd be great to get some professionally printed signs that are up all over the venue. You like those big pull-out type things?
Yeah, I know.
Instead of just kind of getting up and say, "Yeah, please come to our pizza party," I think it'd be cool if we have proper printed signs, saying these are the 3 steps for how you get started. Providing a visible kind of link to the documentation and the list.
Are we going to have more than one night of this?
It's up to you guys. I recommend you just do one night because there's so much going on in the evenings at UDS. It's always tough.
Yeah, I mean that's I guess that's what I was thinking about as well. But then at the same time, I mean I don't know that doing multiple nights actually. I mean it doesn't make sense, but at the same time, are we going to have enough time to be productive? Typically, these sessions run about 2 hours. I don't know that we want to go much more than that. I mean, 3 hours even.
Yeah.
I guess we obviously don't have a set agenda yet for exactly what we want to cover. It's only at a high level, but it's just important to sort of think about how much material I think we're going to have and how much time would people be able to digest that material and then actually produce something. I mean, I think that's the goal. We should have actual tests written at the end of the session.
So documentate. I'm just noting all these actions down. Okay, so for pre-UDS, I've got down, we need how to create an automated test guide, a set of quality guidelines for what is an automated test. This is kind of almost like a code of conduct for good tests. A blog announcing all of this stuff before UDS to get people interested. A list of automated tests that are required. Coordinating with Shazane around when to do the automated test beer pizza party. Coordinating with design to get the poster design created. So you guys are going to want to give them a set of requirements, and then coordinate with Shazane to get the posters printed, and then ensuring that the documentation is online somewhere, so we have a URL that we can point people towards. Does that sound sane?
Yep.
Yeah, sounds good. Now, Daniel, I don't know if you know, but they'll also be doing Utah sessions during the days. I think it's going to be over a couple days. I think there's 4 sessions in total.
Okay.
So just something to note. I would suggest we do our whatever evening we pick, if possible, we could do it following those sessions. That would probably be best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be good to know, to get an idea of which of the sessions are really necessary. If there's something about server configuration to make Jenkins jobs work faster, I mean, it's an interesting topic, but I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, if you think about it, you've got like two groups of people who are interested in automated tests. There is the group of people who care about the infrastructure of how the tests run. That's the QA team, and weird people like Nick. And then you've got kind of like our target test writers, right? They are Ubuntu contributors. They just want they want the testing infrastructure to just work. They just need to know how to create a test and where to submit it.
Yeah, sorry, Clint. Sorry.
Clint?
I think it's not your problem. I think it's my problem. Like it's just too much for me. I don't get it. It's it's hard enough for me to focus already. So I'll leave this to you. Okay.
All right. Can you guys go into that spreadsheet that I just created? I shared it with you, and just go and like pick what you guys want to work on. Stick your name in the owner columns, and pick some deadlines. This is a great time to get people to agree to stuff.
No, it isn't.
Sorry. Well, considering I missed most of the conversation,
It's a great time to get exactly what you want.
So.
Just say yes.
I think we should do
Who
shots.
said that? Was that Mike?
Hey, you want to do a shot?
I have nothing but caffeine, which is probably not good.
You don't have any Jägermeister or anything?
No, I literally have been living out of suitcases and stuff. I brought a bottle of Puerto Rican rum with me, but I gave it to my father-in-law.
Fair enough.
There's the people living out of the suitcase that do have that kind of thing.
Well, you know, like, I originally thought I was asking my wife to bring home beer when she got back, but I would be...
Hey, Kev. Hey, Kev. Hey, Kev. Hey, 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 Kev. Hey, Kev. Hey, 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 Kev.
Oh, you
You didn't do it in
punks.
caps, though, so it doesn't count.
Hey, Kev. Hey, Kev. Hey, 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 hey.
Sing it
Kev.
like Hey Jude.
Kev, to make it easy for you, I'll provide a link to my donation URL.
Man, you're so cheap.
My Kev will go on and on. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do. I'm really
Put on
desperate.
Megadeth, it's more soothing.
That was George singing. Erica just said, "What the hell is going on?" All right. So
I
you
just
guys,
muted George.
so you guys have been. Have you got access to that spreadsheet?
I'm in. I see it.
For some reason, it doesn't work for me.
Liar.
And as far as the maintainers go, Daniel, I completely agree with you. And actually, this is something sort of interesting. So, getting buy-ins from people who've written the tests and then who care about this type of stuff really helps with the maintenance thing. So I've spent quite a bit of the cycle sort of building up a manual test case maintenance team, doing a lot of work around that. So, but for these automated tests, it's almost a bit like a similar role as a package maintainer, to be honest, which is a bit different personality type and sort of person and role that you want to slot in there. So I guess I would say you're on the right track, but it would be sort of interesting to see if a package maintainer would actually pick up this role, or would a developer, or would it be a separate team of people who just look after all the test cases individually. That's how we have it, or collectively, I should say. That's how I've done the manual test cases. It's a collective group of people who look after test cases for all types of testing.
That's a travesty, Mike.
What?
It turns out that you won the Kev thing.
I told you, you didn't do it in caps. You should have said it.
I did it on the stream.
You said it out loud, but not in caps.
And there's Jose trying to be all nice and fair about things.
Don't be fair to him.
Yeah. You know what, Jose? Screw everybody else. Who cares about the environment? Everyone cares about homeless people.
Homeless people care about the environment.
Oh, that would be wildlife.
You know what? I like hot weather. Let the rainforest burn.
Nick, you're still behind, man.
What? Wait, did you pass me?
Yeah, I passed you like an hour ago.
That's right, baby.
When you were napping.
When does London and Europe wake up?
When I was napping?
What, George?
When does London wake up?
So it's 6:22 in Germany, so it's 5:22 in
London.
Okay, so like in 4 hours we should see the uptick.
It's 6:22. You got through the night, Daniel. And
yeah, easily. Told you.
Well, that's because every time I speak to you on a Monday when we have our weekly call, you're like, yeah, I went out on Saturday night, got in at 8 a.m.
Yep. Sounds about right.
I was busy laying down some fat beats.
And in 2.5 hours we're going to have Pity and we can present all the results to him.
Excellent.
Good, isn't it? Excitement, come on.
Woo.
Here we go.
All right. Excellent. I'm seeing work items appearing on that spreadsheet. This is cruel and unfair punishment. You guys think about strategic planning for UDS at 6 o'clock in the morning after you've been awake for like 18 hours.
Yeah, we're not to blame for any of this if it goes wrong, though. Like, this is considered duress. Nothing's legally binding at this point.
Yeah, duress.
I don't know why you're getting so comfortable, Hall, because you're next. Standing up ain't going to make you any more awake.
It helps a little. I have really comfortable furniture.
I can recommend fresh air. Open.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, but this is Florida. It's like 102% humidity outside.
Makes a huge difference.
Near
All right, more patch forwarding.
wherever you are.
So far, what? I think we're up to 4 on the Celine Dion.
Oh, I think I finally found an answer.
Answer to what?
So a question about Juju. I'm trying to pass you guys. I'm ending up scoring dead last.
Oh, you're last?
Yeah.
Weren't
So-
you negative at one point?
Yeah. Check this out. Like, this guy's trying to set up a mass server, except he misspelled it. M-A-S-S.
Where's the URL again for that for those stats?
Let me find it. There. I put him in the channel. So this guy can't get his mass working, and it ends up he misspelled it mass like M-A-S-S instead of M-A-A-S.
All right.
Oh, that's horrible.
Which one of you guys wants to do the summary at the end of UDS?
We should flip for it.
Who's doing the vegetable talk? The most important part.
Probably Rick Spencer.
Summary at the end of UDS wrap up. Summary of what?
So,
automated testing stuff. I mean, I can talk about it in general with my other.
We were talking about this earlier on while you were napping.
I know how it is. I want to hear it. My little Chromebook that could, man. That's all it could take.
The basic idea is that you guys will go to UDS and you'll make a big deal about automated testing. You'll have a list of automated tests that we need. People have the docs available. You'll have the pizza party where people at that point have been to the sessions and they start plowing through and writing tests. The idea is that one of you guys gets up on the last hour wrap-up at the end of UDS when all the track leads get up and basically says, so as part of our automated testing smackdown this week, we had this many tests written by this many people, and everyone gets a round of applause. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, nice. So if you want to make that separate...
Yeah, so it'll be separate. I mean, obviously you guys are both track leads. Daniel's going to be running the community track, so you guys need to get up and do your own track summaries. And then one of you or both of you will need to get up and summarize this bit as well. So which one of you guys wants to do it?
Sure, I can do it.
Doug. So Nick, would you be okay doing a plenary talk?
Plenary talk.
Which is the how to write a test in 15 minutes plenary.
Yeah, that's like, my brain is fried. Nothing's connecting on that word.
I'll take that as a yes. Okay. You see why I'm doing this right now?
I'd rather give the
Now I know the whole reason
summary,
behind
honestly.
the 24-hour marathon. This had nothing to do with charity.
Never mind charity.
Just gone his way of breaking us down so we'd agree to anything he tells us to do at UDS.
All right, so you want me to give a plenary, really? Okay.
Now he starts realizing. It's taken a while.
But does it have to be on this?
Nick's whole persona right now is like kind of like Nick's whole persona right now is kind of like the stoned guy in the corner of the room. It's like, what are you guys saying, bro? Someone say something like Tito's?
Yeah.
We can probably do it together.
Well, I'm happy to do it. I don't want to steal any of your thunder, though. I don't want to not have you represented. That's what all I was trying to say. As in, if I give the summary or if I do all those things, then it'll be just Daniel helped out with the event, but it won't be. You won't have any sort of that authority.
I'm sure there's going to be enough work for the both of us.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that.
I'm really looking forward to it, Daniel. Actually, I'm really excited. It was one of my.
Yes,
things
speak for yourself.
Okay, well, I know I'm on the better end of the relationship, but I'm just gonna take it and run with it.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure it's going to be great.
There's that trademark German optimism. All right, so okay, cool. So thanks, guys, for doing that. If you could stick some deadlines in there, and then that bit's done. And then we basically now have a plan for UDS, which is good. And I'd like to try and make sure all of this is done. I'd like to make sure that we have the online stuff at least ready at least a week before UDS, so we can give people links to the documentation, because people are going to be much more effective if they get to UDS and they already have written a test. And then people who haven't already written a test, they can go to the tutorial sessions at UDS. So speaking of which, what sessions are you going to have? You're going to have like an hour-long tutorial kind of session as one session?
I don't know.
What do you mean, sessions? Sorry, I'm really slow. Are we talking about actual sessions inside UDS, or are you talking about the testing event thing?
You see, this is one of the...
Calling it a session.
You know, one thing I've just realized is, so normally, most evenings when I'm at home, I'm usually working at this time at 9:30, so my brain's kind of like completely switched on at this time. You guys, at like 12:30 at night and 6:30 in the morning.
I'm worthless.
not so much.
I'm pretty much worthless.
Man, while you guys were chatting, I was forwarding patches to Debian, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sure they're excellent.
Exactly.
Excellent patches.
Yeah.
All right. Well volunteered, Daniel. So, can you go to that spreadsheet, Daniel, and put a load of deadlines in?
What about the spreadsheet? I thought we were done, so I closed it.
Daniel, I'm going to say this one's actually going to be sort of hard for me. I'm leaving the 23rd, 22nd, something like that. And the next 2 weeks are just full of release activities for me. So the deadline is basically going to have to be the 19th, with probably some of this occurring on the 19th.
So I'd like to recommend that you guys basically do as much of this next week. It's not actually going to be that much work. It's going to be like gathering some docs. I think the QA team have probably already got some docs written. Putting them in a place that we can point people towards, and putting together a design rationale for the design team.
Yeah, so let's make the latest deadline like the 16th of October, with most of them occurring by next Friday, if possible.
So
that's what I would say, if we want to actually have them be achieved.
Yeah, 16th of Oct sounds good. All right. Be back in a sec, guys.
Oh. We still have 30 viewers live. You guys are amazing.
Wow.
I don't. Maybe you just forgot to and left your browser windows open. I'm not sure, but you're hearing this.
Yeah, I'm surprised. No one in their right mind should be on watching this right now.
Oh, Planella, I think I just screwed myself.
Why?
Well, this guy was asking a really interesting question, so I tacked a 100-point bounty on it, and I'm at a minus 102 now. I didn't even think about it. I was supposed to dominate this challenge.
Your generosity will be your downfall.
So our technique is basically to do nothing. just let you accumulate minus points.
That's a good point. I've learned a lot.
David's got some work out there.
Yeah. I've learned a lot of lesson trying to set this little trap.
Hey, Rock Sox is still on. Andre, are you in Miami still?
It feels so much later than 12:30.
Well,
crazy.
Yeah, we got up at 6 a.m. That's why.
I think it's because I just didn't sleep last night. That's why it feels so late.
Daniel, our heart is bleeding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you guys didn't have to get up early. You got up at your normal time.
I think I would be better in your shoes, honestly.
When did you wake up?
I woke up at 7:30.
I thought I could hear wine making in my living room.
Yeah.
I want some cheese, Jonah.
Speaking of vegan stuff, how'd the ribs come out? Did you?
The third batch were nasty. They were horrible.
Oh, that
Working
sucks.
late, Andre?
Huh?
I can do Rock Sox. He's still online, still working. And not doing it for some crazy marathon stunt either.
So basically, my my third back. I think I just left them on too long. So what I want to do is, I know what it was. It was that the temperature was too high. Speaking of which,
is the rent too high?
The what? Hang on.
He's talking about your mustard.
Oh yeah. Ooh, Neuro's still around. Man, some of these guys have been going as long as we have.
I think Neuro went to bed.
No, he just said, you know why they were horrible? Because you slather the ribs in yellow ooze.
He meant in
Next time,
between.
don't use yellow ooze, dude.
JVR Bannock is still on.
What did he call you earlier? I haven't heard that word used in a long time. Oh, he called you a Philistine.
Philistine.
Oh yeah, what was up with that?
You put mustard on the ribs. You know, like the Philistines did.
It's pretty ironic.
Traditional Philistine cooking method.
I'd like to
All
thank
right,
my
so
friend Andrew
would
Ford.
you be bothered if I went and ran on my treadmill while we were chatting?
I'd like to thank my friend Andrew Ford for donating. Thank you very much, Andrew.
I think I'm gonna do it.
So check it out. This is my cook log. And this is my temperature. And this is my temperature fluctuation. This right here shows bad barbecue. It went up to 280 and it went down to 230, something like that.
Oh, why so much variance, Jonah?
Yeah, that was part of it. Was the beginning.
George, is that you?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, part of the reason why there was so much fluctuation was the I didn't realize that one of the vents in the back was actually open. I thought they were all closed. I couldn't figure out why it was so high.
There we go.
Now I know. So the first two were good because they came out earlier. They've been you know, there's less bark made. Never mind. All right. Nero, I read that.
Hard at work.
It's a little project that I started working on to track my barbecue cook time. Neuro, it's like 2 hours of work. So it's beyond rough. It's a block of crap from the center of the earth right now. All right, so just finishing off on the automated testing plan at UDS. So the goal is, therefore, that on the 16th is to blog about it, right? Is that okay with you, Daniel? So I'm going to put down having the docs ready by the 15th.
Is that all Daniel can muster right now? It's just kind of a nod.
I think so.
I am playing Xmodo, the greatest Linux game ever written.
The greatest letters game ever written?
Linux.
Oh.
It's like this physics motorcycle game.
Mike, how awake are you right now?
All right, so far. Just had a bowl of ice cream that's loaded with like every kind of topping you could imagine.
Ooh, ice cream sounds amazing. I might go get some.
So, Mike, do you mind if we? I'm gonna like write up a project plan for UDS for the accomplishment stuff.
Okay.
And just go into some detail because I think one of the problems that we have right now is I think some of the other guys. I don't know if M. Fish will testify to this, but I think some of the other guys are not really sure what I've asked you to work on. So I'm gonna write it up.
As far as accomplishments, or
yeah, just like everything that we want to shoot.
Is anybody cheering on me playing Xmodo while I'm not looking? They better be. Son of a...
Damn it, How many people in the chat channel haven't given us money?
haven't what?
Haven't given us money. If, people in the chat channel, if you haven't given us money, please tell us.
Don't be shy. We really won't hold it against you.
We're not gonna... There'll be no bullying.
We're at 4,385 pounds. You think maybe we can get to 5,000 by the end of all this?
Oh, we'll definitely hit 5,000. Yeah, Matt, we're doing 24 hours. We are now...
Ooh, Kevin Quirk gave me 30 pounds plus a 7.5 pound gift aid. What is this gift aid? I don't understand what that is.
I think it's some UK thing.
Yeah, it's like a government thing.
Oh.
So how many hours in are we now? We're...
Too many.
18?
Nearly 18. We'll be at 18 in 15 minutes. Oh, look at that jump. You guys see my jump?
18 hours.
Actually, 19 hours.
Yeah, we'll be at 19 hours and 15 minutes.
I'm sorry, I was muted. I was just talking to myself again. Yeah, it's going to be 19 hours.
Don't put us back an hour, George.
Sorry, I'm just having such a good time.
Jonna, you should do something about that. He's having too much fun.
You playing like an Excitebike clone there?
Yeah, it's called Xmodo. It's really addictive.
Looks it.
All right, Jonna, are we going to do this?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll write it up first, Mike. If you can, like, as we've got Matt Fisher online, if you could, like, you guys could coordinate around which blueprints you want to register and which sessions you want that are outstanding. I'll write up the release plan.
Okay. So, Matt, I've got blueprints registered right now for getting the web services deployed. So that's the verification service and the web gallery service. And I've got another one for the desktop clients. The viewer, the daemon, and the trophies lens, getting those all packaged and submitted to Universe. So that's really more maintenance and deployment. So anything that you guys had been planning in terms of feature development, we should get a blueprint for.
Hang on, I think I have something more important. Hang on, this is super important.
More important than accomplishments, or more important
Yes.
than X
Check this
Moto?
out.
Which is all I see on.
Check this out.
It's
you
the
see
light
it?
at the end of the tunnel.
Isn't it awesome?
Sunrise.
It's nice.
Very nice. Is that coming our way, Daniel?
Oh.
What's that?
I said, is that coming our way?
Yes. Just
Okay.
hang in there just a little bit longer.
Hang in there.
Actually, I
some-
think it'll still be
some
dark
into-
when we're done.
It's all going to be fine.
So, Matt, what blueprints do you want to have in terms of development of accomplishments? I know I saw in the email that the demon itself is going to be pretty stable this next cycle. You're not going to do a lot of work on that, right?
Mike, if Matt's up for it, maybe we can just bring him into the hangout.
Sure. You want to hang out, Matt?
That sounds awesome. I know you gave me a work item to try to find someone to charm the demon, but I haven't really found anybody. Kind of busy with the other charms. How simple is the demon? Is it just...
Pretty simple. Basically a set of shells. It's basically just a set of Python scripts.
But it's debus, right?
Yeah. Dbus and the headless
It's not
Ubuntu
anything
one.
platforming like Django or anything, right?
Not that
I'd
fun.
think it's very easy. You know what? I might have a go at trying to charm it. Actually, I want to learn how to write a charm.
Charm what?
And given the fact that I'm pretty much the only person in the world right now who knows how to deploy the validation server, and Mike is about to become number 2 to know how to do it, might be wise.
Charm Create gives you the skeleton that you need. It's pretty epic stuff.
So, Matt, do you want to join the hangout and we can talk about this?
Yeah. I'm getting dangerously good at Xmodo and all the easy levels.
So who would need to invite him? Is that still you, Nick?
Oh no.
Nick, wake up. Oi.
Do you think his internet is?
He turned his speakers off so he can't hear us.
He's eating.
Nick, who's the guy in black to your left? I mean, he's been in there for a while now.
That's Nick's desktop. It's the one that actually ran the hangout.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Nick can actually, Matt, can you send Nick your Google Plus email address so that you can see the invite?
I
Can you
think,
just send him the link, Nick?
yeah. I think that's gonna work fine.
Okay, I'll do that then.
I sent him the link there. Yes, it's the easiest way to stay awake is just to simply eat.
Not entirely convinced.
Hey, Matt.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Howdy, Matt. Can you hear us?
I'm not entirely sure he can.
We cannot hear you.
Hey guys.
Yo.
Hey.
I had to turn Daniel's music down.
All right, so
Mick has disappeared.
all right, Matt, we need to figure out what blueprints we want to have for UDS sessions for accomplishments.
Okay.
So what work do you guys have planned so far?
Let me find the list. Hold on a second.
Matt, have we hung out before? I don't remember where we hung out before.
Oakland.
I was going to say you were in Oakland, right?
Yeah. I don't know who would live there.
Not me.
Someone's saying I'm looking spacey.
That was just a veiled insult at Bacon.
How much longer do you guys have?
5 hours?
Huh?
Damn, I'm tired here, and it's mountain time. It's not even 11 yet.
Yeah, we've been going for coming up to 19 hours. Easy.
Hey, JVR, thank you for your donation. Nick, you got some catching up to do.
Mike, I thought we agreed that you were going to stop. You're supposed to stop at midnight.
I don't recall that. You were ahead at midnight, weren't you?
Yes.
Yes, I definitely don't recall that.
Yeah. I distinctly remember having this conversation with you. You were probably sleeping. Or maybe
Yeah,
that was
none
me.
of us are going to remember these conversations tomorrow. Well, today, I guess.
I think you guys had that conversation when Nick took his nap break.
Must have had that conversation entirely
in a dream.
Oh, which one? The first one or
The third one.
Wow. I'm feeling the love.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one, we wanted to do a viewer, a session solely on the viewer, so design, futures, like what technology we want to use. There was talk of even rewriting it using WebKit and CSS to do everything.
Okay.
So just a session in general on the viewer.
All right.
The other one was you were already going to do a session on the online sharing stuff, right?
That's on the deployment and maintenance of that. So how are we going to coordinate it with IS and make sure that they can take care of it and we can keep providing updates for them in an easy fashion. So not development of those.
Hey, Michael, just as a real bonus to you, if you have a charm that's deployable by IS, that gets you bonus points.
With IS?
Yeah, they're doing a sprint right now on doing a bunch of Juju stuff.
Can they deploy it to bare metal, or is it only in their cloud?
So I don't know. I know that they're working on moving a lot of services over, and since this is a new service, there's really no data or anything to migrate. So,
Well, I know we've got John. I think got a server allocated for it.
Oh, okay, all right.
The other session Rafal had mentioned was there was some discussion of some shortcomings in the default accomplishments collection. I'm not really sure what the issues were there exactly, or why we wanted to do that session. I'm not really sure. It feels like a full session, but he was going to write up a wiki page about it.
Okay. And that was who?
I think,
Raffle?
Rafal, yeah. I think the main goal was Rafal and I anyway, really want to get a developer who's really interested in the viewer. Neither of us have the expertise to work on it, to really work on it, I should say. We can fix bugs, but that's about it.
Okay.
And that guy I was talking to tonight, VisuX, he's going to install it and look at it from sort of a design point of view. So I told him we'd love any feedback or ideas he had.
Okay.
Cool.
But
VisuX, do you think maybe you'd be able to participate remotely in some of these sessions?
Oh.
So, Matt, just to let you know, I'm creating a page. I know I sent a different link, a different wiki page link in the email, but I'm creating a page that's not just designed just to have the blueprints, but it's designed to have everything that we need to know about the 0.4 release. And if we target it for February, to kind of get any final feature development out of the way of the client, and this will include the Mike's work. So I just want to make sure everyone's clear on what Mike's going to work on as well. Like basically, Mike's got a core responsibility in 1304 to ensure that we have the validation server deployed and running, and Mike will resolve any final issues with that, and he'll coordinate with Canonical IS to make sure that it's up and running. And then he will also make sure that trophies.ubuntu.com is up and running. And we have a means to push updates to both of those services if we need to. So we'll, if we roll a new release of the validation server, then we need to push it to Canonical IS. What I'd ideally like us to be in a position to do, and I don't know if you've talked to IS about this, Mike, is to make sure we have a staging server set up as well, that we have some kind of access to.
Okay.
The good news is, just due to the way we've architected Ubuntu accomplishments because we use Ubuntu One, we could arguably have our own staging server that we use. Like right now, I've got a staging server set up, and we could just use that.
How would that work with the actual syncing with U1? Would it be syncing production data, or would we have a separate set of staging data?
We have a separate Ubuntu One account.
Okay.
So basically, the way it works is that the production server's got an Ubuntu One account associated with it, and it's got an Ubuntu. Let me get these glare lights out of the way. So the production server's got an Ubuntu One account associated with it, and essentially, if you have staging equals true in your configuration, then it'll load the appropriate OpenID key for the production account. If you have staging set up, then it'll just load the staging account.
Okay.
It's basically exactly the same service, just with two different Ubuntu One accounts. Now, I would kind of prefer it for us to just have our own staging server, because what I don't want us to be in a position to do is where every time we want to tweak something on the server that we have to file an RT ticket. I'd rather that we can tweak it on the staging server, get it finalized, push that release, and then it gets deployed to production. So my inclination is that we just use the current staging server.
Your staging server?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jono, I think the idea you have about 0.4 and 1.0 makes a lot of sense. We're still adding features, and so I don't think we're ready for 1.0. I like that idea you had.
I really like the suggestion that you guys made about us locking down the daemon and just focusing on any changes to the client. And the client these days is actually pretty reliable. It works okay, but just final polish and bling.
Yeah, and a lot of the cleanup and bug fixes and things we did in the daemon, we didn't actually do in the client. So if we do keep the client the way it is, we can make some improvements there too, quality-wise, in 0.4 as well as other enhancements.
Did you write unit tests for it?
No, we never did. There's
I don't think so.
really like 2 existing unit tests that are ancient. We never even fixed like PEP 8 problems on it, so it's a mess to look at sometimes.
So I'm going to note down in this feature plan: fix PEP 8 issue.
Yeah, that shouldn't be too hard. But I think Rafal and I both sort of felt more comfortable touching the daemon, so maybe unit test first before we go in and mess with PEP 8.
Yeah, I think you're right. So maybe we can maybe we say unit test is like the highest priority, and then we say PEP 8 is medium, and then all the other stuff, really, frankly, I think is kind of low because it's not essential.
Well, so Rafal mentioned, what if we wanted to get rid of the GTK stuff and do it with WebKit and CSS, and I'm not really convinced that's a great idea, but if someone wants to step up and do it, we wouldn't be at that point. The unit test would be different. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's why we're going to have a session on the viewer at UDS to brainstorm ideas and go through and see what people thought. It was just Rafal and I today. So we'll go ahead.
Sorry, finish off what you're saying, Matt.
I was just going to say it was just us today, and I think we were just kind of going back and forth with some thoughts we had. That's what he mentioned. One of them.
Yeah, my primary worry with is using a WebKit widget where it's twofold. One, well, it's a couple of folds. One is primarily accessibility. I just took a great picture of George yawning.
Thanks.
Yeah, one is accessibility. Number 2 is just the work that's involved in doing that and who we're going to find to do that work. And it kind of worries me a little bit if it's not one of us, just because if that person gets bored and moves on, then we're stuck with code that we don't know how to manage.
And Goober did this at one point, and I know Ken moved away from using WebKit and Goober because of he had maintaining it.
I know I can fix GTK Python bugs, no problem. May not do a whole new UI from scratch, but if it gets switched to WebKit CSS, I'll be pretty clueless.
Yeah, and the other thing as well is it's difficult. It's difficult, for example, to make WebKit respect your theme. For example, for selections, it's a small detail, but my inclination is it seems like the only thing that we really need from GTK that might be a pain is if we want the wooden cabinet kind of look.
And that shouldn't be, worst case scenario, GTK's got like a widget canvas class or something that we can draw directly onto.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like VisuX in the accomplishments channel's already looked at it, already has a couple good ideas about this. Awesome. He and I discussed this in the accomplishments channel a little bit. One thing I mentioned is the cabinet's starting to get a little cluttered for me now that we have so many more accomplishments.
Yeah, did you see that email from Martin Owens?
Yeah.
So
I kind of like his idea, actually.
Yeah. One thing I was kind of thinking of here, and I haven't had the time to do some thinking on this, but I think he raises a really, really good point, which is that when you've got a certain amount of accomplishments, it gets a bit unwieldy. essentially what would happen is our current My Trophy view would essentially turn into the detail view in the future. But I kind of like the idea of us kind of grouping them almost, so you could see, okay, I've got 15 developer-related accomplishments, and then when you click on a developer-related one, it then shows you all the individual ones that you've got. So it kind of shows up by category, and then we may want to kind of like have a pseudo view, or kind of like a combined view, like a hybrid view where you can show the most recent 10 accomplishments that have come in, and then you can have the drill down. I've kind of similar idea to Martin. I'm going to write up when I get a moment.
I hate to interrupt, but isn't this exactly what we have a blueprint for talking about?
Which thing?
Or not yet, but we're going to have a blueprint for talking about changes to the viewer interface.
Yeah, this is exactly it.
Do we want to keep going with what other blueprints we're going to want to have? So are you going to want one for how to promote more trophy writers?
Yeah. I mean, to me that's more of an advertisement.
What about a workshop where people actually write a trophy?
Yeah, so I asked Michael earlier on if he can make sure that he works with you guys and schedules one at UDS. So we have an accomplishments workshop.
That doesn't need a blueprint. That's something we'll just put on the schedule.
So let me add this to the wiki page. So I've noted on the wiki page, in terms of the daemon, there's no new feature work. We want to complete the documentation of the API, and it's going to be bug fixing. That's the only way it's going to happen in the daemon. On the client side, high priority is to write unit tests. High priority is to ensure that the trophies lens works, including previews. Medium priority is going to fix the update issues. And then the lower priority is exploring new designs for the summarized trophy view and applying the wooden cabinet. Actually, the summarized trophy view, I think that's probably more of a medium. And then on the server side, high priority is going to be deploy the validation server to the Canonical IS. High priority is ensuring that updates to the validation services can be deployed. High priority is the web gallery, and a high priority is pointing the URL towards the web gallery. And then UDS plans, I've got the blueprints there initially, and then sessions. So we're going to have normal sessions. So we're going to have session leader description. Date time.
Hey, where in the wiki is this going, Jonna?
I'll grab you a link in 1 second. It's basically wiki.ubuntu accomplishment, wiki.ubuntu.com/accomplishments/0.4. There's the address.
What was the very last part? I miss it.
I just pasted the link in the chat for the Hangout. So, Mike, could you just take a second and flesh out the sessions there that are needed? Obviously, you can leave the specific schedule time.
Yeah, I've got 4 so far. The 2 I had in there, one for viewer interface updates, and one for accomplishment collection.
Yeah.
Those are the blueprints anyway. And then we'll have the accomplishment writing workshop.
So the only thing that I'm a bit worried about on my side with all of this is, with the baby arriving, like very likely in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be pretty worthless between now and February, to a reasonable degree. I'm going to be basically a zombie. I'm going to dip in where I can. So I think finding people who can contribute is going to be... I mean, I've struggled to contribute in the last couple of months just due to travel. And I really want to get back into things, but I'm just conscious of the baby coming. And I also know that Rafal's got... he's going to be going to university at some point soon. So...
So who's been the primary person working on the web gallery?
It's Janos and Gabriel.
Are we going to have a session on that? Or are either one of them going to be there? I know Janos isn't. Is Gabriel?
I don't think so, but I think it would be good for them to run a session. And what would be cool is to run a session and then like have them dial in with a hangout.
Yeah, I'd love to go to a session on the web stuff. I don't know much about it. I'm just focusing on the for the most part.
Really super cool what they've been working on. So one thing we may want to do, and we may want to do this next week, we may want to organize a hangout next week, is to, based upon what we want to do for 0.4 and based upon the amount of time that we've got, we may need to par down some of the feature goals. Because, you know, if at the end of the day, Rafal's going to struggle because he's going to be at college, I'm going to struggle because I've got a baby. And it's basically going to be you, Matt, who's going to be helping, and I imagine you're primarily at first going to be focusing on the unit testing for the viewer. And Mike's going to be primarily focusing on the deployment. We may need to pare down some of the viewer GUI changes and just open them up if people want to actually submit a branch that implements them.
I didn't know we got smoke breaks.
Huh?
I said I didn't know you guys got to take smoke breaks.
I currently have a build running, so I'm working.
Compiling.
We need where's the XKCD?
What time is it there, Daniel? Like 6 in the morning or something?
7:14.
Wow. Here's what it looks like outside my house.
Yeah.
Just black.
Black like my soul.
So, Jono, I don't think the list we have is unreachable.
Yeah.
I haven't really looked into the client enough to know the scope of the unit tests.
The thing that I don't know about the unit tests is because they depend on the daemon. I mean, basically everything in the client is called the daemon. I mean, it does the client, all it does is talk to the daemon and then processes data from the daemon and renders it. So I presume that I presume that there'll be the usual kind of test harness that'll come up with a fake daemon. But I don't know how you fake that using, because the challenge is that the viewer uses. Actually, it might be okay. We provide the convenient Python library that essentially talks over dbus to the daemon. So we could arguably fake that library.
Well, I was actually wanted to look into. Pity posted that dbus Python mock, and then there's a couple other options out there as well to sort of fake that the client's talking to the daemon, because in the P builder and the build environment, again, we don't have dbus running, which is what we ran into before. So it's options I'd like to look into.
Yeah.
I'd
if
love
you
to
wouldn't
know.
mind looking into those now, that'd be cool. Maybe if you could look into them, and then, like, if you have some time next week, and then we can maybe just hop on a hangout between you, Rafal, Michael, and I, and we can hop on and discuss it.
Yeah, I'll look into them. I don't know if it'll be next week. Where'd John go?
You just drop off.
Yeah. I'll give him a second here.
Weird seeing it light out at Daniel's place.
You're not too far behind. You got
1 a.m. I'm pretty far behind.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I guess you're not going to get any snow tomorrow when I get my snowstorm here.
Or the next day. I'm not
Or
going to
forever.
go anytime soon. There he is.
I don't know what happened there. My thingy just went berserk. Oh well. Sorry, were you guys saying something?
No, we were waiting for you to come back.
So yeah, John, I'm going to look into it. I'm just not sure it's going to happen before UDS.
No worries.
So if it does, I'll maybe set something up with you guys.
And you know what, dude? To be honest with you, it's not that big of a deal if it doesn't happen before UDS, because we know we're going to need to get unit tests done at some point, and it's going to happen after UDS anyway. So, you know, it's not that big of a deal.
And then in February, my wife's got a kid coming, so.
Oh, really? Congratulations.
Hand the torch to somebody else.
I'm beginning to think working on accomplishments.
So,
got a track record now.
We need having a kid accomplishment. Apparently, your wife having a kid.
Becoming a parent accomplishment.
so
I've already got that. This is number 2, man.
Oh.
I got talked into it.
Uh-huh.
So the good news is that Mike's working on this, so therefore we can just have him do all the work. So.
Yeah, because Mike doesn't have kids. No need to worry.
Well, Mike had kids before he started this job, so therefore they don't count. There's a logic in there somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. The kind of logic that only works after 19 hours.
Yeah. The logic also that applies to a guy who doesn't have kids yet.
Is this a magic trick we're seeing here?
What, George?
Watch before your very eyes as I get fired by my boss. All right, guys. I'm gonna go and have a shower because I'm grotty. I'll be back in like 20 minutes, something like that.
Okay.
I'm going to bed.
I will.
Thanks, Matt, for hopping on. Appreciate it, dude.
Good night, guys. Talk to you tomorrow.
Take it easy, man.
Bye.
Let's
turn.
Okay, guys, we have 30 minutes.
30 minutes till it ends on us?
Yeah, we're like going to have to start a hangout for the last 10 minutes because it's just, I don't know, unless we can somehow push it.
Nick, I found a deck of cards.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
we can do a virtual card trick now.
Sure.
So we are at 4,416 pounds.
Wow.
Oh, Clint's coming.
That's a lot.
And Nick is still behind.
Okay.
Hey, Clint.
I'm going to show you guys a card, and I'm not going to look. Okay? You guys ready? Okay, I'm not looking. Does everyone see the card? Does everyone know what the card is? Okay, all right. Ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Is this your card?
Yes. Are we just supposed to believe you didn't look?
No, I just kind of put the card down and picked it back up.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then you guys are supposed to think everything. I actually know no card tricks. I know how to play poker. That's about it.
Hey, that's funny. I'm actually deploying a charm for the poker web package. I have no idea what it is.
Wow.
But I'm just writing charms like a mofo. Writing charms, taking names.
Which charms are you working on? They better be on the target.
I literally just typed charm create poker web and deployed it.
What?
Well, it's a poker web app.
Wait, so are you automating the charm create stuff? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not automating it, but I just that's all I did.
Oh, okay. So you didn't even need to modify it, and it's already deploying its package.
I added open port 80.
Ah, well, hold on. So I got a response from Josh Burkus today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he said he's been really slammed this month, and he's gonna take a look at our charm. I don't know if that means take a look at it and make fun of us, or take a look at it and help us. So we'll see.
That's cool. I think he's got his fingers in a lot of pies. So
yeah. And then who do we have? Who we have on earlier from the server team? Oh, we had Davey. Davey was talking about the rewritten stuff charm, which I think is really awesome.
it's the third rewrite now, but we may actually have a working charm now.
Wow.
And we had Chuck.
Yeah, we had Chuck. We've had a lot of server representation.
And Chuck said,
Chuck is really angry because the hockey season's like kind of not happening.
yeah, and there's like 5 people in LA that care, which is enraging everyone because, we like won the cup and stuff.
Oh yeah. Don't talk to me. I think we've had a lot of good Ubuntu server representation, but I haven't had donations for some of the other guys. There's like Robbie and Antonio, Mims. They got money.
Antonio unlocked the baby achievement.
Yeah, that's right.
On Monday or something, so. And Robbie has like 90 people reporting to him or something, so. I give him a pass whenever he doesn't show up for my meetings, too. Yeah, that's crazy. So, but Antonio's only going to be gone for like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, I don't know how long paternity leave.
It is.
Chronicle.
You know the guy.
Hey.
Good morning.
Hey.
Hey.
Breakfast.
It's like time hasn't passed at all, man. It's just all blurry in the same day.
I'm going to go find something to eat. Clint, entertain us.
I'm about to send the URL for poker-web.
Oh, okay. And then we'll come back, and then you guys want to do lines from Airplane and Naked Gun and stuff?
I'll play you.
What's that? That's what Clint and I do. We quote funny movies all day.
But people don't understand, man. George has a mind.
Clint, I just want to let you know we're all counting on you. Forgot my cup.
Let's go. Nate?
All right. The exciting world of charms. Let's see. We can all go to this website that I just created in the cloud in under 5 minutes together. All right. pasted. It works. That doesn't look like a poker website. So it's literally a poker website? I have to enable, yeah. Well, it's like a poker game. This is the default webpage. Yay! I have to... Alright, so my laptop's not acting so crazy. I guess I could bizarre branch again. I was on my desktop when I did that. Now I've got to branch my old charm again.
Did Jono just go to bed?
Yep. I went to get a shower.
Don't believe it.
You went to bed.
Hey, Clint, I have random server questions for you.
Bring it.
Oh, my computer's just got here. So, when I'm doing home sharing, so traditionally, I've always shared with Samba stuff, even on Unix, because I found it easier to set up the NFS in some cases. And then one day, I started working in Unix professionally, and I started using NFS for obvious reasons. What's your favorite?
Not so obvious.
So on your home network, what do you use? Is like which protocol, like just for general file sharing, do you use at home? Do you use NFS or?
I have no files at home. I use the cloud. I use the cloud.
Wow. So what kind of setup you got at home?
I have 2 laptops, one upstairs and one downstairs.
Okay. And where do you keep your stuff?
On Ubuntu One. I'm a company man. I'm not even kidding. All my pictures, music, videos.
Wow.
It's all on Ubuntu One. So yes, when I want to transfer it from upstairs to downstairs, I just walk downstairs.
Oh, okay. Well,
and I have very little media. I try to stay as lean as possible.
So, long time ago, I was doing some consulting at a company, and one of the things I was looking at was their network throughput with their file sharing. And they were using NFS to sync files between their main file server and they had a render farm. They were a 3D graphics company, so they had like 200 node render farm that they had to copy these things out to. And what I found is that the Samba client will cache files. It'll keep it in disk cache, whereas the NFS one wouldn't. And so I got higher throughput by switching everything to Samba than the NFS that they had.
Interesting.
NFS sucks and should never be used. That's a quote. You can quote me.
You can cache NFS actually. So
yeah, there's all kinds
should never
of
be used.
ridiculous tuning that you can do with NFS. But I used to have this like crazy network setup 10 years ago where my home network was like 10 times better than the one that I was administering at work. I had like an awesome file server and a firewall. It was all running Debian, and it was all like just super fast and hyper tuned. But at this point, I even used like the Time Warner router that they give me. I don't even have a DDWRT anymore, just because my old one died. And it's all in the cloud. Like I don't want computers at home anymore.
I want a media server. That's all I really want now.
My media server is Amazon Prime, Netflix. That's it.
Yeah, I've got a Roku, and if it weren't for the little bit of live TV I want to have,
I love my Roku. I pretty much live off my Roku.
Yep.
So. All right. Well, that question ended up going nowhere. SNWHS says I use Samba mainly for ease of my Windows cohorts. Okay. Good to know. Is there any other question?
Plus you could do print sharing with Samba, which is nice. Although my wife's laptop never did like to print to it.
I mean, but can you access your? Is there an NFS client for Android?
I don't know.
Is there a Samba one?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I mean, I don't. I just use a file manager. I can browse Samba shares. It's really easy. Basically, any device I've ever owned has always been able to talk over Samba. So.
I use this folder sync thing to keep stuff on my tablet, and it supports Samba and NFS. I think it's pretty cool. It's like every time it connects in wireless, it keeps stuff synced for me.
Okay, so the poker server requires, surprise, MySQL. I have to write a relation now.
I was gonna say, just add a relation, then I realized you're writing a charm, but not just.
Maybe you guys can help me out with this. I'm writing a charm for the API website, and it's got a relation to Postgres. And I've got the relation hook loading up the Postgres database after it connects. But after like a minute of loading the data, it times out with some transaction error. And I'm not sure what's causing that. I tried wrapping
Postgres is slow.
I tried wrapping my import query into multiple transactions, but that didn't seem to help. Is this something that you've seen before with the?
So the fastest way to get data into Postgres, if you don't have a PG dump of it, is the copy command. And that's where it's like basically a flat file load because it does the whole thing as a single transaction.
Well, what I'm doing is I'm writing in a bunch of XML files, and I've got to parse data out of them and stick it into the database.
Yeah, you should use the copy command for that.
So just parse it and stick it into a different format file and copy it
Yeah,
in?
if you look it up, copy allows you to specify the field separator and the row separator.
Okay.
I actually had to use it for the web app for Ubuntu Relation Stats. I just had to convert the data to a CSV file and copy it because otherwise it would take really ages, and copy takes like seconds or minutes.
I'll look into that. It's going to be a pain because there's like a dozen different tables I got to do this for.
You guys read, speaking about Postgres, did you guys read this thing on LWN yesterday that the latest Linux kernel almost shipped with like this serious performance regression with Postgres? Because it was a conflict between like the scheduler code, and I guess Postgres has like its own scheduler thing. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, Postgres has been trying to rely on the OS for everything for years. That's like their theory. And it screwed them a few times. Even like FreeBSD has had similar issues with it before. MySQL took the exact opposite tack. They rewrote like half of libc in MySQL just so that they wouldn't be dependent on platform stuff.
I will provide a free subscriber link there for readers who want to read what I'm talking about. Pretty interesting article. If you like that article, you can always support LWM by becoming a subscriber. It's my favorite Linux news site. Or if you're an Ubuntu member or Debian developer, you can get a free account sponsored by, I think, SPI. Who sponsors the Debian LWM accounts? Is it HP still? Or? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Man, the decay is setting in.
And then
why do you say that?
Wait, is Jono back already?
Yeah. No, there's this weird guy with a goatee who's talking to us, I think.
Yeah.
Well, not for long, the goatee part.
Where's Daniel?
He went for breakfast. His brother came with some breakfast.
Fair enough.
Alright, I finally rebranched my charm. Let's see what's in here. Should be good.
It's not pretty.
It's not pretty. No, I wrote a charm back in May.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, but I never. So what do I need to do to this to finish it?
If it's the same one I had, which I don't know if it was, you need to install the Solar Dash Tomcat package, and then you need to somehow configure Apache Mud JK, and that's where I just was like, screw this. I'm not looking at this ever again.
Everything was yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think I agree. That's where I was, because I think the way I left it, you just had Tomcat running.
Right.
You know who you need to find? James Page.
James should be.
I know how to do it. It's not actually a question of doing it, because when I wrote this, I had a script that I was working off of. That's how I wrote it, which I had created just by hand to deploy this thing, because I deployed Vivo servers like hundreds of times. I don't know where the script is anymore, but
yeah,
that's what I was doing when I was writing this.
Yeah, if you have any kind of Java issues, James Page actually embraces the platform like no other person I've ever seen in my life.
But yeah, it is the question of how to do it in a charm.
Well, we discovered later that James Page was awesome. We pretty much just hired him because we didn't want to do Java.
Yeah.
Quick thank you to Kev Quirk for donating to my charity. He says, "Let's hope you win till that beard goes, Jono."
Yeah. I like to thank Anonymous. Man, those guys are really coming through.
Funny because yeah, it's the wholebacks.
Breakfast.
We're gonna lose the hangout in 10 minutes.
It's all good.
Nick, you look absolutely knackered.
I am. I really am.
I got caffeine, dude. I got caffeine.
I am sunk.
I've tried to avoid caffeine.
I've now been up
into it. I don't want to get a caffeine buzz and then be done and not be able to sleep.
Caffeine's only going to keep you awake for about 2 hours by the time you ingest it. So
believe me, you're going to be sleeping.
You know what, George, you were right. Shower, man.
Like $1 million, don't you? Yeah, get the grog out of your eyes.
So you think that's what needs to happen, huh?
Yeah, I should have done that like 3 hours ago before my wife went to bed.
Yeah.
I've got the guest bath, man. I'm going to. There's even towels up there. They're probably nicer than the ones I have to use.
Did you guys take any drugs?
Yeah.
Just looking in your eyes, and it looks like it.
This is all natural.
That is an.
The mariachis? There. Mariachis?
That is an epic question. I'm gonna post this question in IRC. Look at this answer that David Planella posted. That is just epic. Everyone should upvote that.
Daniel, does your brother not think you have a real job anymore?
Yeah, he's been watching this for years, so knew what to expect.
I remember when my brother saw my job, I think his first thing was like a UDS. Like, man, your job is awesome. You get to drink with like Jono and act like every night. I was like, yeah, that's my job.
Yeah, see, when I tried to explain it to my parents, they were like, And this is a real company? You're actually going to get paid for this?
Sort of.
My mom couldn't believe that there were no old people at UDS. She's like, everyone is so young. Where are all the old people? I was like,
you tell them they're still using Slackware?
Yeah. What was that one movie? Oh, Logan's Run, where they killed you when you got a certain age and you had that thing. I don't know if I'm dating myself.
No, it was like 45 or something.
Yeah. So let's see. I think in the morning. I like to go through all the open source news and talk about them. What do you guys think? You guys have any topics you want to talk about? So.
You want to do a mini lug radio?
Sounds good.
Yeah. Let's do lug radio, except a lot better. Let's do that.
I thought we could do wake-up calls for everybody. I guess it's time now, isn't it?
Of course it's a lot better. There's no Ravel in here and no Ack.
Actually, I've got a question for you guys. Because recently I've been taking my daily call notes in the same Tomboy note, just kind of appending to it. And some of you saw the mock-ups that I was doing the other day. Screen share.
So, I've been putting all my notes on Trello boards because I like to prioritize and move them up and down and left and right.
So this is what I've got right now. So I've got like these really long notes, one for David, one for Jono, some for other people. And so I started mocking up an actual note program based on this premise that there would be time.
It's a good job you're working on this, Mike, because there are not enough note-taking applications in the world.
Yeah, in fact, Jeff Atwood just blogged about to-do lists. It's like that life hacker syndrome that every 24 hours.
Yeah, at least it's not another to-do list. And actually, I think I've been looking into the way Tomboy stores its data, and I think I can actually put these in as Tomboy notes so that I can take advantage of the Tomboy note syncing also.
So like a new view for
easily scroll through and see, okay, what was I talking to Jono about last week?
Back in a minute.
But what do you guys do for this? Do you guys keep notes of your daily calls?
I put everything, if there's an action item, I try to put it on a card.
My stuff goes in the cloud.
I have a pretty low-tech way of doing it. I have a text file on my desktop that I put like work items, like things that I need to do immediately, and then anything that's going to be bigger, I basically email myself. So my inbox is my.
It's your note manager.
I've tried doing to-do lists, and I'm all excited and productive for a day, and then I forget to do it.
Yeah, this isn't really for to-do stuff though. It's more just, what did we talk about, so I can go back and make sure that I've done whatever it is that we talked about doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's just the fact that it's personal. So that's why there's 101 different apps to do it.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Nick. I think everyone's got their own preferences and approach.
One of my previous bosses gave everyone moleskins when they joined, and he was a bit upset if you didn't use it. That's the way he did it. So
fair enough.
Okay, so in 5 minutes, this thing's going to die. So we have the decision of, do we want 10 minutes of dead air, or do we want to have to remake a hangout for 10 minutes?
Wait, why is there a 10-minute delay?
Because if we start another 4-hour one right now, it's going to end 10 minutes before our official end.
Whatever, just remake it.
So
yeah, last hangout.
And then we'll only have 5 minutes to empty at the end.
Or just kill it an hour early.
And it might die sometime in between anyway.
Yeah, I'd say just kill it now, recreate it, and then if we have to make another one, whatever.
Or just create another one in 2 hours. Suck it up.
All right. Well, does somebody else want to do the last one? Because I can't do it on my laptop, and I don't have to go on my desktop. Actually, I need to shut down all those desktops. I mean, I can.
I nominate Mike.
Okay.
Mike, can you give me the embed link so I can update the page?
Yep.
Perfect.
And Carenza mentions Hall. Why not use the Google Docs integrated Hangout functionality?
Because it doesn't give me like a timeline. I'd still have to maintain my own timeline, in which case it's no different than just using my Tomboy notes.
Okay.
All right.
Why is Ben, why are you talking about zip bombs and fanny packs when I've been up for 20 hours? Alright, I'm gonna go get started on this other hangout. I'm gonna try and get it on my other my desktop.
All right. Well, let's let Google punch us, so we get every minute we can. So this will just die at some point. It should be about 2 minutes.
Quick, entertain us for 2 minutes.
Good news. Only 3 hours to go.
Ooh, look at this bit of news.
It's fall.
Did everyone see the pink boa?
Oh yeah, it's 4 hours.
Pretty awesome.
Damn, it got longer. Nice pink boa, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I think the shower cap and the pink boa really go well together.
And screenshot.
Awesome. No, out of everyone I've met, you're the most nimble with a screenshot button I've ever met. It's like, hey, dude. Whoa.
I've got a. I was supposed to wear this as well. I'm too tired to change now, so I'm not going to do it. But I'll show it to you. It's a long shirt. One of my Indian friends bought this for me.
Hey, are we starting these hangouts with the on-air account?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it me or Jose's been up the whole time, hasn't he?
Not the whole time, but pretty much.
Yeah.
Rock on, Jose.
So, speaking of like taking screenshots, these are the images that I currently have on my desktop.
Ooh, let's broadcast this. Okay, hold on. Go for it.
All right.
He has.
Everybody's favorite dog. Then we've got this guy.
That one's pretty good.
And then, of course,
yeah.
The duck.
I found a pretty funny one I've been using. Do you guys see this one?
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it animated?
I love how the little